Welcome, viewers. Welcome, whoever's there in the chat. Please tap away. Let's find out who's there. Brian, it says three wise men. Three wise men, but at the bottom it says the bald and the bearded. What's going on?
It does indeed.
God knows. I'm bearded, and I'm nearly bald.
I'm bald.
Nearly bald. Right, so there's been a hiccup there as far as our backdrop is concerned. I wonder if I can change that in any way. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. How about that one?
Sounds
nice.
good to me. Looks good to me.
Fantastic. Right. I think it's always wise to have three wise men. So I think viewers out there, you may know this particular wise man. He's been about in many of the streams. His name is Eugene to some, and Lukman to some. But either way, 40 years as a fan, legend. Eugene, how are you?
Guys. Okay, fine here. Everything's cool. Yeah.
Listen, thank you for coming here on short notice. Much appreciated. Awesome. Will be making an appearance maybe later on, but chances are he may just send us a video message if we're lucky. Boys and girls, we were supposed to have a guest tonight, Brian.
I know. I was looking forward to it.
We still are having that guest. Eugene, have you heard of the boy Hotspur?
Yeah. Yep.
Have you heard of Harry Hotspur?
Yep. It's the same guy.
Same guy. Right. Now, strangely enough, I was reading up on Harry Hotspur. This is an earl or something from somewhere in Olwick. Yeah, I was reading up the legend of Harry Hotspur. But anyway, I'll do a little bit more of that when he's actually here. Because there's been some technical hitches in this country, certain satellite systems are down, and unfortunately, due to a technical hic, Harry Hotspur's satellite system is completely down today. So he's been going to the local pub to do his little video clips. Unfortunately, the stream at this time of night at the pub just wouldn't be happening. So he's going to have to postpone it. We may do a special on Sunday. Right, we may do a special on Sunday. Now, the problem is on Sunday is that are there any football matches going on?
Right? I believe there is. Let's have a quick check. So what time were we saying? Were we sticking with the 2 p.m. your time, 9 a.m. here?
Between 2 and 3 in the afternoon here, but in your time is going to be in the morning. And Eugene's time will be in the evening.
Funny enough,
that's when I do my show.
It's actually going to work out. It's going to work out well because both the games are on at 5 p.m. because it's the last group game. All the games will be played the same, and it's Switzerland, Turkey, and Italy, Wales, both at 5 o'clock.
You know what? 2 o'clock sounds fantastic because that will give us time to get the show out of the way. It'll give time to people to just go where they need to go to watch the games. You never know. I'll have a chat with Harry Hotspur and ask him. You know, he's a wonderful guy. Honestly, I'm a bit chuffed actually that he was interested in coming on here. But I think what's happened is that what I didn't realize was how friendly people are in the Spurs community that are online.
Oh, it's been one of the big pluses.
Especially in the YouTube community.
Big time.
I think that's the biggest plus there is. Eugene, your channel's coming out. It's been come out already. When's your next episode?
Most probably this Sunday, but it might clash with if you get Harry on, it might clash with that because I usually do it about 8 p.m. my time here, about 1 p.m. your time in UK, and then Brian's time about 8 a.m.
So we could do it maybe at 3 o'clock. Compromise.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Splash to splash. Right. What I thought, since originally there was a talk of postponing this episode and shifting it all the way to Sunday or one of the other days. We're not 100% certain whether or not all three of us can keep coming on at the same time. Shall we welcome all our viewers and guests?
1 billion%. Always.
I think first of all, I think we have to kind of. I think these guys here. What do you reckon? The Williams Rangers, the Patreons that make things possible here at Will's channel. Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne Bonner, Mama Coates, Celery Agent, AG. Gaguma, Tony Coe, and Alex Burlton. These lovely people have personally donated to this channel on a monthly basis. I think that's fantastic. I think that's the best. You know what it is? It's like people have shared into something which hasn't even got anywhere, but they have the belief that they want to see more of it. And right now, I think this is the age. 2021, COVID, post-COVID, is going to prove that people can choose what content they want to watch and spend their time on. And it doesn't have to be something razzmatazz. It can be something from the heart. And I think a lot of these channels are like that. They're very sincere. They come from people's feelings. And people out there have got the same feelings. So let's have a little look at some of the feelings that we've got and start welcoming some people into the... Mr. A.E.'s there, Edwardson.
Always.
Always. Thank you very much. And Suspension, that's you, Eugene. Thank you very much. Mark Swift is saying hello to you. And he's also saying hello to everyone. Fantastic, Mark. Right. And Paul Brown is always making an appearance this time of evening. How do I remember? Because he's got an E at the end of Brown. I'm bad with names, but he's made it easy for me. Evening, Paul. Right. Of course, Brian, you're in here. I know you are. And Eugene, what's going on, geezer? You got 2 accounts, innit? You got 2 accounts. Right. Just in case anyone's wondering, like, hey, Joe Grimes, welcome very much. Welcome to the gang. John Fitzpatrick. Absolute pleasure having you here, sir. Right, Mark Twift is about. Right, Jamie Patty. Oh, there you go. Sharing the unofficial Manila, Philippines, Tottenham Hotspur Sporters Club FB group. Come on, you Spurs. That's a bit of a mouthful. You need to like abbreviate that or make it a little bit smaller.
Yeah, my partner in crime.
It's just a suggestion. You know, it's just a suggestion. Aran is in. He goes, how you doing, lads? Fantastic. Right. Mr. K. Alexander's in.
He is a close personal friend. He's a very close personal friend of mine from school. We've reconnected via Twitter.
Wow.
What's up, Kevin?
There you go. Spurs family being reconnected back together and local as well. Right. We also have, how would you say that? Limey Leafs fan.
Correct.
Yeah? Okay, Limey Leafs fan. You are in the group. And of course, Lappers 82. Thank you very much. Daigle, you're a legend. Right. Now, Jason, you know what? We were looking forward to this episode. We thought we were going to have listen, it's going to happen. We're going to get him in. Emily, hello, lads. Fantastic. Right. So, I thought what we'll do is we'll have a slightly shorter episode. Right. Okay. And at the same time, what we'll do is we'll wrap up something that we started last week.
No problem at all.
Some of the things that we didn't do was we didn't actually show the numbers next to each other. We just talked through it, went through the memory of it, and we just talked about players. And Daigle, Brian, did you miss that one?
Yeah, last week I was not very well at all, so I didn't do anything last Thursday.
I remember now. So. You were throwing up then. Yeah. Right,
so... Indeed.
Shall we just take a couple of comments since we'll quickly just before we start? Anyone with this managerial pushback, recent smoke and mirrors, Levy stench too much? Brian, I think that's something you might tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I said it just now on Paxton Road. I still think this one's going to fall through. If there's anyone that can mess up a deal, it's Levy. This has been 99% for over a week. Everything Fabrizio Romano tweets and Alistair Gold, they're all tweeting basically the same thing. Oh, it's exceedingly close. It's just this, or oh, it's just this now. It's just such a shambles. It's such a mess. I still think it will fall through.
I don't know. I mean, look. The BBC have reported this. They said that it's imminent, or rather, very close to, or as close to as you can possibly get without saying it. It's true. It's true. No. I think. Look, the thing is this, right? Yeah, is Paratici, right? He's left. He's now here.
Yeah,
that's deal done. Deal done. Yep. Hitchin, you like it, you don't like it. Sorry, mate. Go and cry with Alistair. Okay, that's the deal done. Now we've been crying out for anyone other than Levy to call the shots on football in terms of players. I mean, let's face it. If he gives them a selection of players and says, "Listen, man, we need the money to buy this one," he goes, "Wow, that's too expensive. You got someone cheaper? Yeah, I've got this one over here. Oh no, I want someone even cheaper than that. Okay, this one over here." Right now, the guy's smart enough. He's worked for some of the top people out there. He knows Tottenham. Come on, Are you telling me you're in this industry and you don't know Levy? 20 years as a chairman. Come on, the guy's got fingers everywhere. Everybody knows him. For Levy to choose him in the first place, you know, it was like he respected something about him. He said, this guy is the perfect fall guy if anything goes wrong.
Well, this is the thing.
Right.
You've got to remember, it's all been set up because what this guy did at Juventus is, as well as getting a lot of frees, he bought a lot of expensive players. And when it comes to the expensive players, this is where this won't happen. And it's a lot easier to sell Juventus right now, or at any time recently, than to sell Tottenham Hotspur. It's very good if you can have all these contacts, but if you're not going to match them for what they want, it's very good having this massive file of facts of names to say, yeah, I'll get you these players, I'll get you those players. But if you don't offer them the market value and you don't match their wages, what's the point?
That is pretty much it. Look, I tell you what, there's been an awful lot of channels that have talked about this till the cows come home. What we're going to do is, let me see if I can quickly share this screen. I hope nothing goes wrong, because last time it did. Last time I was doing it, everything went terribly wrong. Let's have a look now. I am going to get that one over there and allow this. Right, and now, is it not on the screen? It's on my screen only. All right, there we go. Let's put it on. Okay, guys. Now, let's put the whole screen up so you guys can all see it nice and clearly. Okay?
Yep.
Let me go into it and wiggle around with it. Right, okay. So what we got here is, this is transfermarket.co.uk. Okay? They've done all the hard work for us. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit more.
Mr. K?
Mr. K?
I think he's got internet connection problems.
Malarkey.
Mr. K, your connection is really poor.
Yep. He's got internet connection problems. He's frozen. Yeah.
It looks like he has. So it looks like we're going to be talking about the transfers in and out during the Levy reign. Oh, is he back? Let's have a look. He's back.
Yep. He's back.
I'm back.
You with it? You're back.
Yep.
Am I back?
Yep.
Am I back?
You are indeed.
Yeah.
I'm back. All right. Because I can't see you guys, but you guys can see me, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. This I'm going to do is I'm going to make a quick little jot down note, and people can do this at home as well if they want to. Okay? Now, very simply, what we had right here in the 2000. Now, would you say that the 2014 to 2015 season had anything to do with Poch in terms of who went in and who went out?
So 14,
right,
15
so what I'm
was
going to do,
season.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the 15-16 season, because that's probably when he had some sort of influence over who went in, who went out, and so forth, right?
Yep.
Am I correct? Okay. Guys,
Correct.
I can't see your screens. I can't see your faces on the screens. I'm going to have to... Let me just quickly remove you and bring you back in, all right?
Okay.
And that didn't do the trick at all. Never mind. I'm just going to... If anything happens, let me know, okay? Okay,
Yep.
So basically, in the 2016 season, right, yeah? Sorry, 2015 to 2016 season, we had £63 million worth of transfers, like, bought in. All right? So that's 63 point... Let's just call it 63.9, right?
Okay.
And guess what we had? We had, on the way out, we had 78.82 million out. Right?
We
So
made
we
a
made
profit
money.
then.
So that's minus 78.82. Okay? Right. The following season, right? 75 million pounds sold. Right? 75.15. Right? And we had, we didn't do that much selling, unfortunately. Only 47.07 million was sold out.
Okay.
And that's the 2016 to 2017. That's when people like Musa Sissoko came in, Wanyama came in, Kudu came in, Harry Winks made an appearance from the under-23s. Right, okay. But we had people like Bentaleb out the door. We had people like Mason out the door. We had people like Chadley out the door. Chadley for 13 million to West Brom. Chadley was worth so much more than that to us, but that would have meant a contract renewal and, you know,
Exactly.
levy for that. Right, the 2017 to 2018 season is the season where we had people like the likes of Davison Sanchez, Lucas Moura, Aurier, Llorente, Foyth, Gazaniga, you know, Kyle Walker-Peters. Right, we had people like that coming into the squad, and we had Kyle Walker leaving, Wimmo leaving, Bentaleb leaving, Najee leaving, Fazio leaving. So, you know, that season we bought 111 million pounds worth of players. We splurged 111.15 we splurged out. We made up, however, 93.42 million pounds in players sold. So that's quite a lot, right?
Yep.
For players
Not much
sold.
spending.
Right. No. Look, we spent 111 million. People are going to shove it down my throat one day. Right. 18 to 19 season. We did zip.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
Stadium time.
we did 4.82 million in transfers out. We sold Moussa Dembele. That
Which
happened
never
during
replaced.
the time we didn't buy anyone.
Which we
Okay.
never replaced.
Right.
Yeah.
So 2019 to 2020, all of a sudden, we start to buy a few players. Yeah? Dombele. Right. 54 million pounds, apparently, according to transfermarket.net.co.uk. Right? Now, oh my days, this is wrong. This can't be true. We sold Ericsson for 24.3 million pounds.
Yeah, remember he only has 6 months on his contract left.
My days, Levy, you done one on the Inter, bruv. No wonder Inter was so upset about like selling back, because I reckon they would have given you. But that was also the year we sold Kieran Trippier for 19.8 million. So that's like more or less 20 million. We finally got rid of Vincent Janssen for 8 millions. 8 million pounds we got for him.
Oh,
And
Jensen.
Kudu, we got 4 million pounds. Lo Celso was on loan that year, but we spent 14.4 million pounds on him just for his loan to come in from Real Betis. So we bought him the following year. Ryan Sessegnon, 24 million. So yeah, 133 million pounds worth of investments. Wow, that's a lot of money, right?
Well,
Don't
it
you
is, but the amount of money coming in weighs it up, and it just goes.
58 million pound out. It's nearly 60 million there. All right. Now out of that money of 133 million, don't forget 14.4 million of that is just for the loan for Lo Celso.
Yep.
Right. So let's get up to date. Let's get up to date and see what the last bit of transfers that we had on the 2021 season. We brought in the likes of, we finally, believe it or not, 2021 season, according to transfermarket.net, that's the year we bought the Celso
Yep.
for 28.8 million, which I know is being spread over a certain amount of period of time. I think
Yep.
I think we're paying like 3 million or something to 5 million
Brilliant.
pound a year for him. Regulon, 27 million. Doherty, 15.12 million. Pierre Højbjerg, 14.94 million. Rodon, 10.89 million. Vinicius, 2.7 million. Vinicius,
It's a loan deal.
2.7 million pounds from Benfica.
Yep.
Now, Lo Celso, we got him for 14.4 million, right?
Well,
So-
it goes to show the difference in the Portuguese and Spanish market.
That's big time difference. And, you know, we're getting a manager that's from the Portuguese league. You know, he's Portuguese, born in Mozambique, but brought up. Right, Joe Hart, free transfer. Gareth Bale, they call it a loan transfer, but come on, it costs us a pretty packet to bring him in every single week.
I think
Right,
about
but,
15
you know,
million in total.
So altogether, we spent 99. How does that work out? 99 million. How does that work out to 99.45 million? Guys, how did that one work out? Okay, 30 million, 30 million, 60. Okay, fair enough. That can be 99 million. Okay, so that is actually quite a bit of money coming in. Oh, and going out, we only like, you know, who do we get going out? Kyle Walker-Peters, 11.97 million.
Mhm.
So there, 11.9 what? 97.
Yep.
97 million. Right. Guys, who's got a calculator? I
Not
better
me.
do it myself once. Let me do it. Let me do it. Come on. I thought I'd give you I thought I'd give one of you guys something to do as well. Right, okay. So let's just add up all the stuff on one side and all the stuff on the other side, right? Makes sense? I mean, that seems like the simplest thing to do. If there's people out there that know an awful lot about transfers and numbers and stuff, and they think maybe we're doing it like too basically, well, guess what? Let's start with basics, and then you can get into details. This gives us a ballpark figure to play with, to understand what are we actually facing. I'm actually going to put the +0 in as well, right? Because I've got a funny feeling that we've got, we've got to look at things subjectively a little bit sometimes. As much as the rhetoric, we've got to have some numbers on our side to really. All right, so we've got a total of 483 million pounds and 0.3. Okay.
What spent?
That's how much we've spent since since after the first season that Poch was here. In other words, the season that he would have control over. Okay. Now I'm going to put in the other figure, which is how much we spent out. But come on, think about that for a second. 483 million in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. 6 years. Right? That's over that period of time. Right? Now, we can either turn around and say he's been tight-fisted and never spent, or we can turn around and say, oh my God, is this guy just like, is this the squad he built with that amount of money?
£500 million.
Yep. Let's be fair. This is not exactly pocket change. This is quite a lot of money. But somebody turned around to me and said that over the same period, the other teams have spent like $1 billion.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, with the differences with us, it's always quantity over quality.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. What do you do with the money you spent?
We spend it pathetically.
Okay, all right, so we've got ourselves a total. Oops. Oh, I made a mistake. I'm going to do it all over again, that last one. Right, so 483. Let's just quickly do this. You know what I did? I pressed the button twice, and it added it again.
Never do that.
And then I pressed it again, and guess what it did after that? It added it again. Sorry, guys. My mathematics is not very good. But, 1 second, plus that to 93 million. Right, so 93.42 million that year. On my days. This guy has actually spent quite a bit of money. I mean, I'm not even going back to that year when we sold Bale and Modric. I don't want to take it back too far because you know what it is, the value of the players, they change over time, right?
Of course they do.
But I think since the last 6 years, the money has been stupid, right? Because we spent 30 million on Sissoko, right? So that would have to be right 247 million 0.08, right? So if we just minus one, so that's 50 million nearly sold, right? And we bought in 480. Okay, so that's 483.3 and 247.08, and you got 236.
Yep.
But like people have said, you in the comments, you had the Champions League money that's come in.
Okay, let's just divide that by 6, and we get an average net spend, right? £39.37 million.
Round it up to 40.
Let's say it's 40 million. 40 million is what we spend every season on average across the last 6 seasons. I mean, that's not completely. I mean, that's just an average figure. Don't forget, we had 3 transfer windows where we didn't spend a penny. Okay.
Yep.
So this figure could have been higher had he spent money, but he didn't. 40 million pounds. Is that a magic number?
It's a magic number for him. It's a magic number for him.
Yep.
It's not a magic number for us. Listen, what you've got to look at is if he had listened to Paul Mitchell and had that money, we wouldn't be having this conversation. yes, I'd still be Levy out, but we would not be having this conversation because the players would have been bought with that 400 million. You're looking at Skriniar, Grealish, Fernandes, Dybala, all tied up.
Yeah,
all tied up. Rather than getting your Fazios, your Stambulis, your
Fazio, he's at Roma.
and Kudo.
Yeah, and Kudu, NG, all of those
NG,
people.
yeah.
You're looking at it. Your Janssens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're looking at it, and it could have been a completely different thing. We do not spend money wisely.
There you go. Paul Brown said it. So you're saying it. Look, it's obvious, isn't it? Is that either you turn around and say, I've spent a lot of money, but I spent it like a nutcase, which is more or less what he said.
Yep.
That they haven't got the decisions right.
He's
He's admitted that in the most nicest manner there is, without turning around and saying, listen, if someone employed me and, and they did this to me, I would sack them. And this guy is getting away scot-free. That tells you that the person who owns has got the largest share, doesn't seem to care.
My question is, right, what about the commissions? Where did all the commissions go? You're talking about £500 million of sales, right? The commissions, somebody must be making hell of money on commissions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you take 1% of that amount, you're talking, not a small amount of money. But nowadays with the agents, agents coming in at the 5 to 10 to 15% rate.
Yeah.
You're talking about 50 million pounds of commissions going to who and to whom we do not know.
Listen, the financial,
right.
the football side of it is just pathetic.
Brian.
Yes.
Brian, Limey Leafs fan is saying that we've done this video for 20 minutes and we haven't slagged off Levy once.
Do you know
what's going on? I mean, I'm sure that people don't really want to be reminded about this guy over here, right? Mr. Mood himself, the man who wants $1 million, who likes to go for weekend at Joe's, that particular guy. Okay,
listen. With what you've just said, Mr. K, with everything you've just shown, it just goes to show with his interview that every single penny we make does not go back into the club. In case these players would have been signed, the money is there. I don't know why we negotiate when the money is there. It is absolutely ridiculous. People swallow it. People swallow it, but it's just got to the point now where, like I said, him doing that interview has just made him look 10 times worse. He thinks he's made him look 10 times better. He's made himself look 10 times worse. Like I said, the money that we've accumulated should have been spent on the correct players. It hasn't. And this will continue to happen. And as soon why we've gone for Peratici, who, yes, he can get free, but spends big money on big players, we're not going to spend it. We're not going to spend it.
Look, I mean, people turned around and said, listen, this is one of the best stadiums they've ever seen. Yeah, fantastic, Levy. You're really great at nitpicking everything to get something fantastic on that side of it. But when it comes to the football side of it, right, you spent £500 million, right, in 6 years. And that's going for 3 transfer windows without spending a penny. And this is the best you could muster up. Right. Yeah. Having said that, we did, we got a super chat. Oh my days. Listen. I'm going to come back to Yido in a second, right? Yeah. But viewers, Will's channel has reached over 1,000, which means that there's some monetization which can be allowed. And super chats are a thing on this channel. I would take advantage of them. I mean, I mostly put up your comments anyway. But if you want something healthy and debatable, then you could put this up. It says, great work, lads. Keep it going. So this would be an example of a super chat. And Brian, do you think that we're doing great work? And do you think we're keeping it going?
We most certainly are. All we can do is try. All we can do is try. And with Levy giving us such great content on a regular basis, it's making it very, very easy. Very, very easy.
Eugene, what do you think? Do you think we're doing great work? Do you think the lads can keep it going?
Of course we can. Right. We're building it slowly and surely, right? And we are showing all the points that he has made wrong, especially before I came on the stream, I went through his interview 3 times on the YouTube, which he did, right? And he said that he has spent 1.4 billion in capital investment. So I'm scratching my head. 1.4 to 1.5 billion in capital investment that they have spent. Where is that 1.45 or 5 billion gone to, right? Don't tell me it's the stadium, because the stadium you took out a loan. So where's all the money gone to? That's
Mr.
what
K,
I'm
I'm
asking
send
now.
him the link. I'm going to send
You
Bob
send it already?
the link. I'm going to send it
Okay,
right
good
now.
man. Brilliant. Send it off.
Right.
You should
Okay,
see it
so-
right now.
So that's why I'm like I said, I think he should just be a private person and don't say anything, and it might be better at the moment.
Okay, so basically, look, George, right? Yeah, George and me are on the same level, right? Yeah, like we're sick and tired of Levy. I've had enough of him. He's really killed the passion that I've got for football. I've not watched any of the European games. I've watched some of the highlights, but I haven't made time for the games. It's like I'm still kind of like messed up from the end of the season. I don't know how anyone else is feeling, but that really kind of, Ericsson was the only thing to highlight. That's really what pulled my heart back out. Do you understand? When the Ericsson thing happened, all right? I've started to perk up and take a little bit of notice now. But apart from that, I think Levy and what the shenanigans they did towards the end of the season really killed me inside. So let's just move on from that. I think we got a couple of more people that have decided to come into the chat. Shane Black, hello to you, sir. It's morning, good evening. It's good evening over here. The lights are all out, as you can see here. Got a new
Morning
backdrop.
for me.
Got a new backdrop. Right, it's always good there. And apparently, Levy's lasagna, Brian.
Yeah.
You were on. You did analysis of Levy.
I did indeed.
So look, loved your analysis of Levy interview, Brian. Spot on, lad. I'm going to share it on Twitter and hopefully open up some deluded eyes.
Thank you, sir.
Well, there you go.
I had to do it as soon as that interview came out. I was like, I listened to it and I was raging, absolutely goddamn raging. And I was like, do you know what? I've got to comment on this. So we dissected it bit by bit for the propaganda PR nonsense that it was. So everyone get over and give it a watch. If you enjoy me ranting about Levy, you will not be disappointed. That's for damn sure.
I mean, primarily, George, that's the reason for like what we're doing with Three Wise Men is we're just trying to get away from too much of what the current affairs rhetoric is and just have a little breather. The season's finished. There's a new season to come. Let's digest what has been going on and really become better educated before the next season starts, so that we're a little bit more fair on who's coming in. So we've got better evaluation of what's going on, because last season really took us through the roller coaster. I really don't want to go through that again. So I'd rather that the fans kept the board a little bit honest. If there's some rhetoric going on in the media out there regarding Levy, then at least he's going to sit up and take notice and make some action. I mean, let's face it, we were screaming out for a director of football, and finally we got one. So finally.
Correct. Just 20
Right.
years too late.
So, it's one of those. It's one of those things. I swear, look, DP is saying give the Euros a watch. It's much better than dealing with Spurs. I want it the other way. I want the other way.
Mr.
I really
K, I
want
have
to
to
see
say,
Spurs playing.
I have to say, I agree with DP. I mean, I watched the England game.
Yeah.
And when Phil Foden hit the post, and also when we scored, it was the first time I jumped up and cheered and done everything for 3 months. Because every time we played or we scored, I was just like, oh yeah, whatever, yeah, wicked, whoop-de-doo. But England really, really, really I got pumped up for a game again, like I will Friday against Scotland. It's actually had the opposite effect on me. Whereas before, and for ages and ages and ages, I used to have a hatred for international breaks because I used to hate them breaking up the season. This season, just gone, I was loving them. I was like, just have a break, stop.
Yeah. Guys, you know, my initial intention when we came onto this channel was to kind of like, you know, blurt it out, get the truth. But look what's happened.
Thanks, Aran.
Thanks, Aran.
Aran, honestly, look, I'm starting to blush up now. Giza, what are you doing?
Incredible.
What are you doing, Giza? Giza, look, Aaron, look, how did I come across Aaron? Aaron, have you got a microphone? Get on here someday, man. Honestly, would love to see you on
He's
here one
cool.
day. You know, it'll be like your interactions in the comments, your interactions on Twitter. Dude, you know, you care an awful lot, and you got a lot to talk about. So I really like to hear some of it, because that's one of the reasons why we created Three Wise Men, is so that we can start to invite people on and you know, talk to them and ask them questions about, you know, this thing that we all love, Spurs. You know, I think you're an absolute legend, mate. Thank you very much. Look, not just me, but Adam thinks you're an absolute legend as well.
Correct.
And you know what he's saying? Look, dude, it goes around. It goes around. Honestly, it goes around. Like, honestly, we're all fans helping each other. I want to bring on a super fan, a major super fan, Bob.
Hello, Bobby.
Big up Aaron, by the way. Aaron,
Yeah,
Incredible.
is a good supporter. He's everywhere now. He's a bit of a YouTube slapper, if you don't mind. Aaron,
Just like us,
Just
Bob.
like all of us.
Just like us.
just like us.
Just like all of us.
Honestly.
Big up,
Look.
big up to Aaron, mate. Big up. He's always got something useful to input, and it's Spurs fans like that make the channel, really.
Exactly.
True.
Look,
Exactly.
I'll tell you the truth, right? Yeah, you know, for me personally, it's a case of like the chat, the fans that interact. That's what makes me want to come out here. Bob, you've seen me come onto some streams as a panelist. I don't show my face very often, hardly ever. I don't go through the effort of doing this. Sometimes you don't know if you're making the right type of conversation or the right type of content. But if people are doing that, then it shows you that even people like George will come out with a super chat.
Big up, George.
George,
Big.
he's
Exactly.
saying now that there are 4 wise men. And you know the ball. Listen, you know what? I'm going to bring it back. How many of us? I think we're very close. I think we're very, very close to. If I can just bring it back. Where are we? You know the bald and the beautiful.
The ball and a beard.
There we go.
No,
That one there.
No, that's not
Okay,
it.
let me just get rid of that for a second. Oh no, I can't put it on. I can't put it
You
on.
can't.
Sorry, I do beg
Yeah.
your pardon. I can't put it on.
Yeah.
But basically, it's the bald. It's the bald and the bearded. And the thing is, apart from Eugene, we're almost there.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're almost there in representing that. Honestly,
Eugene
you got me.
and all his hair showing off.
Exactly.
Not
You
much
noticed
left.
that? He's got super sharp in his appearance. But Bob, just before you came on, what we did was we looked at the seasons that Poch had come in, you know, the season after, right? The 15-16 season onwards. Because 14-15 was he just came in. He's not going to have too much influence over left and right. But from then onwards, and we added up all the money that Levy had spent on player transfers going out, according to transfermarket.co.uk. You know, it's a ballpark figure. It's not exact. We're not going for the exact, auditing here. We're just looking at ballpark figures. What we concluded was that Levy had spent in 6 years £483 million. And he'd sold nearly 250, which left him a grand total of £240 million thereabouts that he spent over 6 years, which worked out to be 40 million a year on average.
Yep.
And that's, don't forget, that's 3 seasons, the 3 transfer windows without spending.
Spending anything, yeah.
Yeah, that's £40 million. The club has been spending every penny that it's been making into football. Well, apparently, how much they're making, it only works out to be £40 million a year. Our club is not that. I mean, £40 million is still a lot of money, right? You know, can't sniff our nose at that. But, we're a top 4 side, £40 million a year? No. Are we a top 6 side, £40 million a year? No. Are we a top 10 side, £40 million a year? No. Are we a top 15 side, £40 million a year? Getting there. We're almost there. So someone said, I think it was you, someone said that that the team without certain players is a relegation fight team, dude, that money shows you £40 million average. Who spends £40 million on average in the Premier League? What type of teams do that?
It's not even how much we spent. It's where we spent it on. And like I keep on saying, it's a broken record. You know, the extra. I mean, an extra £40 million could have got us in so much more quality, which would have resulted on a better team on the pitch and more success on the pitch and more revenue. So it just makes no sense to me. And him saying, Levy saying that he's putting every single penny. We could all smell bullshit as soon as he said it.
It's been some time. How's your young lad?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, he's got a burst vessel in his nose, and they're going to burn it. So if any young kids are suffering from really consistent and constant nosebleeds, it is purely down to, it's nothing dangerous, but it's most likely down to a burst vessel in the upper regions of the nose, and all the people he's booked him for a burn in his nose. They're going to burn it shut.
Authorize it
again. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, there you go.
Right. So
medical advice as well.
Eugene, are you bold as well? Are you hiding something? Are you doing the crossover?
He's in denial, mate.
I'm in denial.
Holding on.
The crossover.
Holding on the
Viewers out there, £40 million a year. Premier League side, been coming in Champions League during that 6 years. For 4 of those years, Champions League side apparently, £40 million a year.
Well, Mr. K, you got to look at it the way you got to look at it. First of all, at some point when Stoke were there, Stoke had a higher net spend than us in the Premier League. Listen, just our transfer activity is like a nightmare on Elm Street. It really is. It's just absolutely, it's awful. I don't know what to say. It's alien to me what we do. It's literally alien. What do we do? What do we do?
Yeah, it shows.
Well, apparently, here's a suggestion.
Ambition.
Apparently, we should remove the FC and replace it with DL.
Yeah.
No, we're a property magnate. It should be a property company.
Yeah, limited.
Yeah.
Guys, it's I don't know, man. It's like the smell of that is married lasts for days. What are these guys all talking about? I wonder. I don't know. I'm going to get out of that, but I'm going to turn around to this one over here for Chris Sperrin. The government ain't helped with the weekly variant lottery just to raise interest rates for the rich to be. You know what? I tell you the truth, to make a few money. Look, I tell you the truth. I don't even know what Boris is doing. I went past that some time ago where I said everything he does is wrong. So it doesn't matter when he comes out, he's going to say it wrong. I don't need to pay any attention anymore. And I think I got to the same point as, I think it was, let's have a look now. It was, I think George. I got to the same point with George where I've given up with Levy. I've just given up. I'm at that strange place now where I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be frustrated. I think Bob saw me earlier in the previous stream, right? Just suddenly get flared up all of a sudden when you know when you hear a blatant lie, it suddenly fires you up.
Yeah.
It's because we've spent the last few weeks looking into the details a little bit here and there of what Levy's been up to and money. And for him to come out with that outrageous statement of saying, you know, we put all the money that we've got into footballing. Like, are you for real? No, let's not.
Wait, Mr. K, wait. He didn't say he put all the money into footballing. He said he put the money all into the team. Remember, my question is, which team did he put into? His marketing team, his real estate team, but not the football team. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, talking about the football
Levy
team,
talks in very, very vaguely. So
look, I've got a sneaky feeling right here. I've got a sneaky feeling that the Paratici and the Don Seca, the Don Seca right here, I think that combination might put us back into that contention of like third and fourth. I've got a funny feeling it might do.
Not a chance.
Look, James,
Big up,
Thomas James Smith over here, for example, right? You're saying if Paratici thinks bringing in aging freeze will work in the Prem, it won't. Right? We've seen that already. right? It's a different beast altogether from every league in the world. This league is demanding physically, right? Palace were outspending us for 2 seasson ago.
Yep. He's bang on the money. Thomas,
Palace.
we need to have that phone call, Thomas. But yeah.
Yeah, big up, Thomas. Thanks for the super chat, mate. Well done.
Yeah.
Look, honestly.
It beggars belief. It really does. God knows who we bring in. We should be bringing in players now, like right now, because of the Euros and a short pre-season, and then the people at the Euros will come back late. If it's 99% done, and when it was 99% done for Fabio to get Fonseca in, to get Fabio in, and he started working, well, why aren't we working now? Why aren't we bidding for players? Why aren't they coming in? Why aren't players going out? It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all a con. Everyone's going to fall for it. And then when the transfer deadline goes and we're stuck in the same place, everyone will go, oh, no, leave it. Oh, my God, look at that. And then it'll be like, I told you so.
The way I look at it is that Levy can do as much as he likes to the club. But in his foundation, there's still glory there. We've got a motto. We've got history. The club will outlast him. Guaranteed. And I don't think he's the type of guy that could possibly bring it all down. Bearings Bank.
If we sold Enoch, if Enoch were bought out tomorrow, or if Enoch were to pack up and leave tomorrow, we are not going to get bankrupt.
No,
we are not going to get bankrupt. We're self-sustained. There's enough revenue eventually coming through. We can be self-sustainable. Yes, we won't have the money to spend or whatever, but we are not going to go under.
We won't go down, but he knows that. That's why.
That's it.
That's why he knows that, right? No matter how bad it gets, right? We aren't going to go down. That's why no matter how bad it gets, right? He's still going to hang on to the last thread before he's willing to let go. So there must be a way of forcing his hand. There must be a way.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember as well, if we get a new chairman in, how can they be any worse? Well, we'll win one trophy in 21 years, or we won't get players that we've been trying to go for. I don't understand it. I just, honestly, I don't get it. And I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys.
No problem. Stelios, welcome to the stream. It's great to have you here. Stelios, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You got a voice? Excellent. Your voice is a bit low, but don't worry. Stelios, we just did a little quick calculation, just a rough one, from transfermarket.co.uk, and it worked out to be over 6 years from the 2015-16 season to now. We've spent £483 million. We've sold 236 million. We have an average, a difference of 236 million. Sorry, 247 million we sold. 236 million is the difference, and it's 40 million pounds spread over 6 years is the average that we spent. 40 million pound. Do we look like a top 4 side spending 40 million pound a year? Do we look like a top 6 side? Do we look like a top 10 side? And do you think the money that we've spent has been wisely spent?
So, Liverpool have a lower net spend than us. Liverpool in the same time. So, how much we spent and what we recouped from selling, to me, is immaterial, because Liverpool had even tougher, a more tougher situation. But where we spent the money, that's the problem. So where Liverpool spend £150 million on 2 world-class elite players that make a difference, we spent £130 million under Mourinho, and we bought 7 donkeys and 2 good players. There's your problem. It's spending the money on the right level of player for the position that we are crying out for. That's the biggest problem at Tottenham.
My days. I think, look, have we, the amount of money that this club is in debt for, we just better hope and pray that this stadium that they built right here can make the money. Because,
listen,
do you think it's overstated, the fact that we're in debt still? Because I don't think we're that much in debt. Sure, the debt, the look at the stadium as debt. I mean, that's that's not saying every single person. Oh, technically we are, but every person who's got a mortgage is in debt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The cost of the stadium, Bob. The cost was found out to be 270 million or something like that. That we put into that stadium. That's how much we put in as a lump sum.
Yeah.
About 250, 270 million pounds. Levy suddenly found £250 million lying around and said, "Here you go. We put that into the stadium as well." You know, that explains the £40 million average a year, where the rest of the money's gone. Look, the thing is, right, yeah, we all know, right, yeah, that if you spend money like that and you're not going to be wise enough to spend it, then you're not going to be winning any cups. We got the proof of the pudding just a little while ago. When you had the opportunity to let somebody have a run for 6 days, nope, you're going to sack him. You know, you want a stallion for the finish, and you got a stallion. You decide, nope, let's get rid of him. Let's bring a donkey in and put Winks on as well. We've seen what this, you know, we've got evidence. Crying out loud, do we need any more evidence? The last 12 months, should that not be enough?
Can I say something?
Shouldn't that be enough for most people? Go on, your volume's a bit low. No? Sorry, Stellis, your volume's a bit low. Okay. Bob, is this...
Yeah, I'm sorting out now. 1 minute.
That's much better, thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that Bob?
Yeah, go for it, mate. Yeah,
Bob,
go for it.
you want the same thing we want, you know? I mean, look, everybody, all Spurs fans want it. We want a little bit of glory.
Yeah, I just want Stel, because I know he's been trying to say something.
Go on, Stel. You can
go on, mate. Go on.
If you're a business and you've got vast sums of money coming in, like high cash flow, and you're a very profitable business. A great example is Apple, okay? Apple have got over $200 billion sitting in the bank, cash. Now, if they want to go and develop or build or buy a company, for example, Beats, they bought the head, they'll borrow it. Do you know why they'll borrow it?
Yeah.
Because they know the money they'll make from selling Beats is more than what the cost of paying back the loan is, and they keep their cash reserves tight. God forbid they ever get into major difficulties. They've got the cash to pay it and 10 times more. So what Daniel's doing is he's borrowing against the assets of the club because he knows he can get huge sums of borrowing. The more you borrow, the better you can negotiate the interest rate. So a lot of the loans we get are at a low interest rate. Yep. So I've got no issue with debt and servicing debt. My issue is the money that you are now investing, what is that going on? And more often than not, when it comes to the football team, we invest in bullshit. When it comes to property, marketing, expansion, entertainment, we seem to be 10 out of 10. We're a first class product. It's the money that we do borrow and the cash flow we do earn, we misspend it. My biggest problem with Daniel Levy is he mismanages the finances of the club when it comes to the football team. That's the bit that pisses me off with him. That's why I want him gone.
Paddy, we're going to do something along those lines. We're going to start looking at other clubs as well and start comparing what they've spent in the last 6 years and what we've spent in the last 6 years. But I don't want to bore too many people with too much data and details in one stream. It literally will put people to sleep. I mean, there's some of us that are really interested in the numbers, and that's all we want to look at. But at the same time, it will put people to sleep. I'm going to spread it across. I want a message to slowly seep into people's brains that we've never turned around and looked at Levy and said that some of the accomplishments that have happened inside the club haven't happened while he's been the custodian. What we've questioned is the glorification of the business element side of his nature when it comes to football itself.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I'm willing to give someone hats off to say, listen, you brought Poch in, probably the best thing that I've had in the last 20 years, apart from Redknapp. Okay, so those two are my favorite in the last 20 years. You know, I love Redknapp to bits. I think he's the most off the cuff, totally ridiculous type of manager you can possibly find. That's from the old school, and he knew how to wheel and deal. He knew how to touch someone up. He knew how to put their arm around them and say, listen, you're the best there is. You know, I mean, Adebayo, look at Adebayo. As soon as he signed the contract, he's, there's ways to get around people. But Eugene, you've been a fan for like 40 years.
Yeah.
You know, you remember a time before Levy. You know, was Spurs known as a club back then as being very little spenders on transfers?
Yeah. For that time, right? I guess we were quite big spending. Sugar did get in Klinsmann for 2 million at that time, right? And Klinsmann did bring us some glory and brought us some hope. But of course, I guess a lot of the fans during that time were in the we were fearful of not existing at all. After Sugar took over, and the management also wasn't that good. And of course, a lot of the owners that came in at the time have their own agendas. But Sugar did have the vision of the Premier League, right? Being in the Premier League. And that's where Levy came in, and he saw the bigger picture because he knew the Spurs fan base was big enough to ride through the storm. And look where we are now. And most of all the money that's been made, right? It's not because of Levy making it. It's just the money coming from us fans. Buying the merchandise.
I mean, I'm talking in a relative manner here, because at the end of the day, inflation goes through transfers neck and neck. It's just a relative manner. It's what is the identity of the club? Has the identity of the club changed an awful lot under the stewardship of Levy? And has it gone for the better or the worse, or are we just very lucky that we've got some of the stuff that we've got regardless of what's been happening? I think, you know, I mean, if you take away Poch's reign,
I'm sure like how Stel feels too, right? He's been a long time fan, and mostly that the local home base fans have a much stronger attachment to the club. For us in international wise is that I love the club because I was there at my youth, at my period of time. And when I came back to my country, that's when, you know, the glory started to come, right? When the glory started to come, it brings your hopes up. But must always remember, we have not won the Premier League or the first division in a long, long time. And when Levy came in, and that's when the Champions League started and the Premier League brought in more money. So I guess his ambition is not to go for number 1, but just to go for number 4 was his maximum target. That's where you get into the Champions League. The Champions League money comes in, and you can build from there. But instead of from building on the team, he built his infrastructure. Maybe it's a good plan, but we've been waiting 20 years to feel that glory.
Beautiful football, glory.
Yes.
I mean, I remember Janela. You know, it's you know, it kind of. I mean, look, right now we're in the middle of a break, and I don't feel as bad about the situation as I was a few weeks ago. I think as soon as Poch's name got mentioned, that's really when I started to disassociate from the whole situation, because behind the scenes, I mean, guys, did you know that in reality Spurs had nothing to do with Poch?
Yep.
Right. Basically, what the sequence of events that happened, right? And this is from behind the scenes as well. People are spilling this out, and that is the vacancy turned up at Real Madrid. And Poch phoned up. He got in touch. His people got in touch with Real Madrid and said, listen, is this position available? And they said, yeah. Well, it's available. And they said, fantastic. We should talk. And then, you know, PSG said, no, you're not. We're going to extend the year. We're going to extend Poch's contract. You try to buy him. Watch what happens now. We're going to charge you a leg and an arm and the whole head. You know, we're going to do a levy on you. Right? So this is at the same time this is going on. The rumor appears that, you know, we've spoken to Poch. We haven't approached PSG, but we've spoken to Poch though, right? Anyway, so the point being, right, is that all that talk and malarkey about bringing Poch back and he's a priority. Good, that was 100% smoke and mirrors. I was shocked.
But did
I
you know
genuinely thought that there was an outside chance of bringing Poch in.
No, but did you know in Levy's interview, he blamed it back on us. He said, I never said anything like that.
He said, I never said it.
I never said anything like that. I never said I was in touch with anybody.
Yep.
Yeah. So he pushed it back on us. So it's like we are the ones who are coming out with all these rumors, not him.
Do you believe anything Levy says? Do you believe a word that? Do you believe that whole video was a shambles? There was
Of course.
Listen, I mentioned yesterday in that video. First of all, he said we've lost £200 million in revenue. Yeah, but you've also got a loan for 250 million, which is 50 million pounds more than the revenue you've lost. The loan, you don't have to pay it back until 2036, 15 years time. All you've got to do is pay the interest, 6 million pounds per year. That's nothing. So you've nullified the revenue loss. Why are you mentioning it then? He's trying to play the whole, oh, look at me, you know, poor Tottenham.
I got no money.
But I'm keeping it going. I'm steadying the ship, you know. Bullshit. And then he talks about, you know, he talks like an accountant. He sits in that room. It's a really dark office. There's nothing warming or heartfelt about that.
I thought that was just for theatrical effect. I thought that was just like for the stage of shooting his video. Is his office really just dark like that all the time? Is he got that Palpatine look, you know?
I felt like he was in a funeral parlor. I thought, is he an undertaker? You know, and he's dressed in black as well. I'm thinking, dude, put yourself in front of the camera. Put a flower pot behind you that shows life. Yeah. Show me a window with the sun coming through. Just at least stage it to make me feel good. He makes it so dark and sinister. Like, that whole video, to me, just stank. It was a bad PR move. And the only reason they made the video is because people like us are running around White Hart Lane Tottenham High Road with clown masks on, doing skies. He's rattled. He's genuinely rattled. And he knows there's a lot of fans that aren't going to come back into that stadium and make it a nice environment if the results don't start coming in quick.
Yeah. Listen, Jammy Git over here, right? Jammy, I want to know, that icon of yours, did you make that icon yourself, or did you kind of, you know, cut and paste it from somewhere? Put it in the comments. Let me know. You're absolutely right. Levy is a lizard. It's cold-blooded and slimy. People just don't get it. Honest to God, there's a chorus of people on the internet and the social media that will come to his defense on a lot of occasions. True. And it almost puts confusion in your mind because some of the arguments sound half reasonable. But the problem is they're only half reasonable because the other half they kind of omit to say. You know, it's when you see the full picture that you suddenly realize, hold on a second, none of this stuff is true. But but
there will be people out there who've seen the interview and actually feel sorry for him and will take on board. But they are the people who me and Stel talk about quite frequently, who aren't here or there. They're the what we call the itchy bum people, the people who've got itchy bums because they've sat on that fence for so long, they've got splinters on them, on their asses, and they've got an itchy arse. So they're the itchy bum people who aren't there or here, who will need. They'll either be convinced that he is the real thing, then actually be convinced or second guess his intentions. And
there seems to be
that interview would have been just what they wanted, so they could turn around and say, "See, see."
Yeah. I mean, do you guys get a sense that there's a certain degree of adulation from some core elements of the fan base? I mean, when I mean adulation, I mean literal adulation. No. They say he's a wonder. They say he's a fantastic businessman. He's made our club great.
I think the fan base is slowly switching, and the perfect proof for me was last night. So I listened very carefully to the last word on Spurs because one of the guys on there texted me saying, "Look, Stel, I mentioned your name. No hard feelings. You know, we know each other." So I thought, let me listen to the show, and I said to him, "I'll let you know what I think." But there was a guy on the show yesterday called Jamie. Now, Jamie, for all the years I've heard him talk, he winds me up to no end because he's always pro-Levy, pro-Enid, great transfer window. He's so on that bandwagon of...
I'm losing you, bro. I'm losing you. I can't hear you.
Club. The opposite of me.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, go on.
But, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? But last night, Jamie said he's not happy with the way they're running it. He's not happy with the Enoch Levy situation. He's not convinced by Padatecci and Fonseca. He does find it underwhelming. And then when they said, "Look, do you think?"
Sorry, you lost your mate.
Look, From what I've read, from what I've understood.
Sorry, Stelas, your resolution's completely gone and your voice keeps cutting in and out, mate. I'm very sorry. I don't understand it. When you're doing Tottenham away, you're crystal clear. How comes you're kind of messed up? What's going on, geezer? It's the same studio.
But Eugene can hear me.
No, you're going like, your voice is doing this. Your voice is going up and down. Bob, sorry, mate.
Let me come out.
Okay, let me remove you. There you go. It's going to quickly, there you go. Remove. Right. He's going to come back in again. But, guys, I don't want the fans to be at each other. And if we think something about those type of fans that we don't like, then there's a possibility they're doing exactly the same thing back. And what's happening is this is a classic divide and rule. Or are we at that situation after 20 years where some people, this is worshipping an idol for them, and unfortunately the only way to get them is to over the cliff. I don't know. It's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be a long journey to getting this type of organization get their hands off our club. I think the only thing that's really going to come along to make anything differently is if somebody buys the club. And I think at some stage something will come along and buy the club. Football's that type of entity. It's making that type of money. And right now we're going to have one of the best jewels around. Look, man, you've been a member for like 40 odd years. Do you think 20 years has been long enough, and do you think 25 is the limit?
To tell the truth, 20 years is a long period of time. And to tell the truth, I don't want to go through another 20 years of waiting for something to happen. And if we really want to have action, right, like I've been saying all this while, please wake up, fans, right? Those who are not awake yet, please wake up and please look at the numbers. There are a lot of things that don't add up. And I've been asking for a long time, how can I get a proper set of accounts to look into on his dealings? Yeah. And somehow or another, because they're a PLC, private limited company, they can put up accounts to the auditor board and all that. But whether that's
PLC,
true...
Eugene. We're not PLC, we're an LTD.
Oh, you're limited company.
He took us off the stock exchange. He took us off the stock exchange so he could raise the money to.
So even now you have an LTD, it makes it even harder for you to get the real numbers out, because LTDs, right, are, oh my God, you don't want to go into LTDs. I'm sure if you're into business, you know what LTDs do, right? Yep. Funds go here, go there. You get a lot of Cayman accounts. You get a lot of offshore accounts, right? And that's why I keep saying, why does Spurs for the past 3 or 4 years, right, keep doing their
easy?
Internet?
I'm an LTD. Yeah. I'm an LTD.
no, okay. But why does Spurs, right, for the past 3 or 4 years, right, have all their exhibition matches in Singapore? Think about it.
Guys, I'm going to remove myself from the screen and come back, okay?
Yeah.
So just if you have a look at the comments, just carry on with that for a second. I'm just going to stick over here Thomas's one, and then I'll be right back, guys.
All right, mate. Still, I want to hear about the last word on Spurs, buddy.
Yeah. So So Jamie, last night, completely different. The way he was talking, he sounded like us. Like, I'm fed up of it. I don't believe in what they've done.
Purely because of the interview.
I think it was the interview. I think it was the appointment of Paratici, but not Conte, alongside him. The appointment of Fonseca. Right. I think it was the sacking Jose 6 days before the cup final, not winning a trophy. Okay. And I also think, no matter what Jamie says, he looks at social media. He looks at what fans are saying, and there's a growing resentment. And he actually, at the end, said, "Look, the culture is wrong, and the culture starts at the top." Unless the top changes, the culture doesn't change it. We're not going to win a trophy with this culture, and it starts with them. As long as they're here, what do we expect? He said something along those lines. And I went on Twitter, and I said, I rarely agree with this guy, or something like that, or he's always talking like, he frustrates me, but hats off to him. Is this a new Jamie for next season? Hats off to him. honestly, because.
And is that how he quoted you? He was quoting your tweet.
No, this was me tweeting to him.
Yeah, but what did he? Because he sent you a message saying.
No, that was someone else. That was someone else.
Oh, right, okay, mate.
That was someone else on the show. But Jamie, right. I wanted to make a point of Jamie because he's someone to me that has shifted. He's shifted.
Yeah.
And hats off to him because it's very difficult to shift. Because if you shift, you admit, you know what? Not that I was wrong. I don't want to say that because that's a bit unfair on him. But you know what? I didn't see this. Yeah. And now I see it. And I'm going to tell you that I see it now, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? I thought I was impressed that he did that, and I will praise him for that because I've probably slated him for the past 2 years.
Yeah. I know. Stel, you must understand, right? If he can shift, right?
Spurs are beginning to shift.
Yeah. If he can shift, that means there are a lot of people out there now are shifting.
Yeah.
Why do you think Levy came out with his interview? Because there is a fear in him now. He has heard our voice. That's why.
Yeah.
You see?
Eugene, the voices are so loud now, mate. And I mean, you know, think what you want. There's plenty of us on YouTube and Twitter and social media all around who are making our feelings
There's a lot
clear.
Of now.
I mean, exactly. I mean, the protests still
you must understand
what my feelings are.
The voice that you're having now, right, is local.
Yeah.
Understand what I'm saying? Now the voice is going international.
Exactly.
You must also remember, Levy is more fearful of losing the international market than the local market because the international market spends much more money. I mean, because we have the heads overseas. You got 3 million fans locally.
It's a bigger market.
Yeah.
It's a bigger market.
International, you're talking 100%. in Korea, you got 30 million fans. But even just say they're following Son, it's still 30 million fans.
100%.
Buying one Son
Do you know what
jersey.
Levy's doing?
How much money he's making?
Yeah, 100%. 100%, buddy.
Guys, do you know what Levy's doing? He's worried. Daniel Levy's worried that when the stadium opens up, he's got a big problem on his hands. He's preempting a big problem, which is a fan revolt on live TV during match day, in front of the sponsors, in front of the corporates. He's worried. And his PR team, his, troubleshooters, they've said to him, Daniel, do a video. Just set the record straight. But no one believed it. Because all we're going to believe is one thing. Show us what you do this window in the transfer, and we'll give you 2-3 months of the season to see how we play. If it doesn't look good, it's going to just go toxic. It's just going to blow up in their faces.
Thomas, I was going to say, Thomas over here is asking if we can come up with a nip on. I think we've gone past the magic hour, the witching hour. So yeah, we open the stream up to other people. That's what we generally do. It's in there in the stream if anybody wants to pop on. We don't want to stay up a bit too late because I think we're going to do a little special on a Sunday to catch up for the fact that the boy Hotspur wasn't available today because of his satellite issue. What I would like to do is use this opportunity, if possible, to go over a few things, like, for example, our wonderful set of Patreons, the Williams Rangers, that's Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne Bomber, Mama Coates, Celery Agent, AG, Gaguma, Tony Coe, and Alex Burlton. Oh my days, you guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you very, very much.
Big up.
It's like a DJ.
I got broads in Atlanta. She took the lean in the family. Credit cards in the scammers. Getting the list in the balance. Legacy.
Right, guys. Sorry about that, but I thought I'd pop that in as well. Hey, what happened, guys? What are you guys over there?
Copyright there, mate.
Hey, guys.
I was about to say something.
Let's bring you back.
Yeah. What I was saying, Stel, is, and I said it earlier, and Mr. K heard it, and so to both of you, really, Eugene and Stel, is another part of the frustration and everything, you know, that's been happening the last couple of weeks with regards to Poch and Ten Hag and Conte. I think if a semi-poor start to the season by Conte, I think that would have been okay, accepted, because it would have given him a chance. Poch, again, you know, he could have lost the first 3-4 games and we still would have loved it. But I don't think Fonseca can afford a poor start. Because, like you say, it's going to get toxic. If he loses his first game, mate, it's going to be.
No, I think the first game is people are going to start talking, but it's going to be the second and third game that's really going to count.
Mr. K, do not underestimate. If we're playing, I don't know, Palace at home first game, and we lose that game, trust me, mate, it's going to be toxic. It's going to be toxic.
Bob, I'd like to introduce somebody.
Transfers as well. I think it depends on the transfers.
Yeah. Stelios, I'm going to introduce. This is the first time I've seen Thomas James Smith actually come on to one of our panels. How are you, Thomas?
Big up.
I'm fine, lad. Thank you.
Okay, guys, everyone can hear him clearly?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thomas, you've got a lot to say in the chat. Give us your 2 pence, mate. Give us your 2 pence of wisdom.
Well, you have to take the volume down, buddy. You have to turn the volume down.
First and foremost, ENIC are an investment group, right? The idea of an investment group, as we all know, is to put very little in and take tens of millions out. Our net spend under ENIC shows you that. 40 million quid over all the years that have been there. Now, we look at the money that we have spent and money that we've taken in for players.
Yep.
We've spent the Garfield money, we got lucky with Everton, and all the other players were dross. Rather than going out and buying two proper bowlers that could play the game.
I think Bob's been on about this for ages. I think Bob's been mentioning this for ages. Like, get some proper ballers. You know, show your intent. Show that you want to win.
Well, we bought Etienne Kipu, we bought Benjamin Stambouli, we bought. It's almost like Levy crosses his fingers when he's doing this and hopes for the best. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me.
Guys,
well, according to this,
Alistair Goals just retweeted something.
Again, we'll have a little quick read of that and get back to us on that in 2 minutes. But the main thing which I want to say right now is basically, look, 2 months are too impatient. We're into a total rebuild now. Look, he's right. This is basically either you cash up or you don't. Let me see if I can get you. Let me see if I can get your screen a bit bigger. Okay, what's he saying?
Basically, Tottenham Hotspur have had planning applications accepted to build two sports hub, community health, basically 3 skyscrapers behind the South Stand. So I don't know if you've been to White Hart Lane, but behind the South Stand, there's a lot of land that hasn't been quite finished. Yeah. Well, now we know why. They're about to develop flats, apartments, condominiums, a sports hub. They're going to build a community centre, a health. Oh my God!
Look, Irish Hotspur's fuming with Fonseca appointment. He's not happy.
But still,
does that belong to Tavistock and ENIC, or does that belong to Tottenham Hotspur?
ENIC.
That has come. Tottenham Hotspur put the planning permission in. Who owns the land and who develops it could be Tavistock, could be. That's not the point, Eugene. Yeah. The point is he's just come out and said we've lost £200 million. We've got to be prudent.
I understand.
And then 2 days after the video, to make the fans feel, get them on side. Oh, by the way, we're going to build this huge property development next to the stadium. Come on, man. Come on.
Oh, God.
What's the point of that video?
There goes the transfer budget. It just got something spent.
What was the point of the video?
I'm sorry.
He did? Why
I think Levy put all his marbles in selling Kane. Oh my days, we've got hotels in the business.
Who does the PR? First of all, I think whoever told Levy that getting an interview out would be good PR, I thought needs a bit. I don't know how.
It's probably Hitchin.
But then
Hitchin
2 days later, but then 2 days later to bring this out as well. I don't know who's in charge of the PR, but mate, if you think Hitchens deserves stick, okay, no, mate.
Yeah. Mate, you've got to see this. Look at the image. Look at the image.
Brilliant.
Oh my days.
Skyscrapers.
Giving up. Come on, man.
Glass, futuristic, modern century skyscrapers, man.
Carries on a free. Irish Hotspurs is in the chat.
He's probably relaxing in bed, on his phone, right? But I think Asmo says it best. Levy is a big hypocrite after planning permission for a few scrappers behind. He talks about the football, and all of a sudden, it's the real estate. The real estate. They're bringing the money.
That's the team he's talking about. Remember?
He specifically said in that video, we've lost £200 million in revenue. We've got to be prudent. We can't. Yeah. We what was it he said? He said something involving the money. Oh, come on, I've forgotten now.
Every single penny that we generate has gone.
Yeah, every single penny goes back into the club.
Into the team.
It doesn't.
Goes back into the team.
It's going into the skyscrapers. It's going into the skyscrapers.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man?
I bet the rent high for that still.
What's that?
Shamu's in the house as well. Thank you guys for flipping around. George has had enough. He said he's done it now. R.I.P. I think that season done us a lot. I don't know. I've still got hope. Am I just a Spurs fan that has hope? Is there something funny about me?
There is. Yeah, there is.
Regardless of how mad it goes, Cody Max and the Cody Max song. But guys, we've gone through this little journey for the last 12 months, and it's only now I've started to look at the money in some detail, because money doesn't lie. The numbers can't lie. You can't hide everything. There's a basic consensus. Either you've spent a lot and you've done a crap job, or you've hidden a lot of money and put it somewhere else and you're not putting it on the field like you said you are going to. You just came out with a statement. First time we've seen your face for a while, and the first thing that came out your mouth is what? Oh, we're making money and we're spending it on the football. But good on him. I don't think that's going to last very long. I think, Bob, you're right. I think that the message has started to get out there. George, don't give up, mate. That's my plan. Keep hoping. You never know.
You don't give up.
You never know.
George, calm down, George.
Don Seca.
Calm down, George. So, George is used to it now. George, you don't want another telling off from Uncle Bob? Calm down.
Right, Prince. Yeah, but guys, am I silly, or
George,
I've got hope. I've got hope that these two combinations.
Demolish shot.
Go on. Sorry, you were saying, Thomas.
The last 20 years should demolish any hope that anybody's got, because we have achieved nothing for a club of our size. 2 league cups under this unique Tavistock group is appalling for a club our size. And like Stelios was saying the other day, there's no chance Tottenham will ever go to the ball, because like he quite rightly says, the government wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow Glasgow Rangers to go into liquidation because they pay too much tax, and we pay 10 times more tax than Glasgow Rangers. That's why they'll never let us go into liquidation. So that'll never
economically happen. Makes no sense, does it, mate? Economically makes no sense. It makes
no sense of whatsoever.
No.
I mean, as Mark Swift is saying, hope is all we have. Look, I can live with the hope because I'm a Spurs fan. And
hope doesn't get a fucking transfers, mate.
Look, we can't like it or lump it, right?
Yeah, all we want.
That's it, Jesus. You said it straight, guys. I was gonna call it quits in about 12:30, if that's okay with you guys. Yeah. You know what? I'm actually there's a couple of things I want to say before we start wrapping things up a little bit. Guys, first of all, everyone that's listening so far, we've got this interview. We've got this guest, the boy Hotspur, otherwise known as Harry Hotspur. He's been blogging for a very, very long time, and I wanted him on the show so I could ask him a few questions.
So did I.
Because he would have certain knows and knowledge that we're missing. He's been doing it for a long time, the blogging side. And I'm thinking to myself, if I can get him on a Sunday special, then that would compensate for today's lack of time in the show. But I tell you the truth, I'm a little bit happy.
I'm so pissed off. I'm so pissed off.
I know, still.
I was happy before I came on the show. I'm pissed off.
Look, we're gonna get Zora, right? Look, personally, I think to myself, if we've got nothing else, at least we're going to have delightful press conferences. When next man has to explain to us the type of sorry positions that Winks got himself into, or that Dyer didn't perform like he was supposed to. And Ori is still in the club, by the way.
Do you know what I don't understand? Right?
But do you know what's going to happen?
When you book an aeroplane ticket, you get a choice. You can fly
Will
economy,
is coming on.
Premium, business, or first. The better the service, the more money you pay. If I want first class, I pay first class prices. If I want economy, I pay economy prices. We pay the highest season ticket prices in Europe, and we get an economy class product. Tell me how long Levy thinks he can get away with that. What businessman says I can charge these elite prices and give substandard product? In any business, where'd you get away with that?
Yeah. Look. Here's a statement from Colin. He's saying basically, speak to Ali Gold, right? Yeah, for inside information. Now, we don't want inside information. We want collected information from many sources. From people in this particular part of the field and that particular part of the field, bringing them together. And the one person I know who's done that over the last 10, 20 years has been Harry Hotspur. Now, Ali Gold is too close to Tottenham, and he won't speak out about certain things. He won't do it. So I can't bring him on the show and start talking to him about Levy out.
Mr. K, I think you've got
It's just not going to be possible. He won't do it. But if we come down here, for example... Sorry?
You have a super sticker.
I've got... You know what? I was just going to come on to that.
What's a super sticker? What's a super sticker?
Aaron?
You just send some...
My hat comes off, mate. My hat comes off to you, mate. Honest to God. This is basically, in a nutshell, everyone listening so far, all the viewers and the panelists as well, what's happening over here, right, is fan power. This is the fan who likes what other fans are doing. He likes what other fans are doing more than what his club is doing, and he's put more money into the fans than he has into the club. This fan over here, not just this fan, but this fan under here too. Thomas over here. I mean, Thomas. I've done Estelle there. I've done Estelios. But my point is this, right? Is that Thomas hasn't been on this panel before. He's not been on the stream before, but he's decided to come forward, and that's because we have strong feelings inside ourselves. Would I call him Steve?
Can I say one thing?
This guy, he's a legend. He's absolutely brilliant. This guy's brilliant. Steve, I mean.
Look, guys.
Let Thomas have his say.
You know, one of the things I want to say is that we're not professionals, are we? We're not even amateurs at best.
Yeah.
We just had enough fans. We're just fans that have had enough. We're fed up the lies. We're fed up of people telling us we're wrong about how we feel about our own intellect and the things that we see with our own eyes, and the judgment that we feel in our tummy about what's going on. We're confused for many years, thinking to ourselves, am I right the way I think? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't see everything. Maybe I should give Levy a break. But I think we've all gone past that. I have yet to find one panelist that is willing to come on and say, I love Enoch and I love Levy. I'm willing to have his children. Please put me on your show.
Look, one of the best things that happened to Tottenham was Sonny, but it was one of the worst things as well, because unfortunately he took the Asian market with him, and while Enoch have got that Asian market, they've got that vice-like grip, and they're not going to let that go.
Yeah.
Well, they've got that Asian market. They will absolutely hold on to it.
Do you know this is? Yeah. Do you know this is the first time ever in my life I'm really not love. There's no love. I don't have love for Tottenham going into new season.
You've gone beyond it.
I don't feel anything.
Gone beyond it.
Yeah, I've never had that. I've never felt like this ever.
Emptiness.
I've never felt like that towards Spurs. But there you go.
You kind of get immune, don't you? You kind of get immune to all the hurt, all the lies, all the false promises.
You have to get beyond it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I've gotten beyond it. Yeah, I've become immune. I've gotten beyond it. That's why when I came on to this YouTube family that we have here now, right? I've been telling you I have a plan, and I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
I'll have a plan. I'll share it with you. All right.
Okay.
And I'll share it all of our
Eugene,
YouTube family.
Will, are you meant to be on?
Do you know what it is?
Are you meant to be on or not?
I am him.
Yeah.
There you go. He's in. Guys,
Yeah.
we got Will Stewart in the house.
Eugene, it's because I'm a season. Hello, Will.
Hello.
Welcome to your show.
Welcome to your show.
Welcome to my channel. Not my show, but it is my channel.
Your channel. Yeah.
Welcome.
Go ahead, Stel.
Welcome to your channel. Yeah, like Eugene, because I'm a season ticket holder.
Yeah.
It's slightly different because I go to the games, I go to the pre-match pubs, I go to the pre-game drinks in the stadium, the after. I'm not looking forward to it at all. I'm not excited about match day. It's like I've never felt that way. Even in the 90s when we were shit, at least we knew we were shit. Yeah. So it's like I had no expectation. Now I expect something. It's like that's gone. It's just I can't explain it to you. I've never felt like this going into a season.
I understand how you feel. Yeah.
I just wanted to jump in here because Mr. K, due to his connection, is not able to share screens, but I am, and I think this is something that fits into the money part of it, and Stelios is right to be upset here. So,
oh dear.
So this is the topic here that they're talking about, and it says Tottenham Hotspur Stadium planning applications include studying new building gets the green light. So while he was talking about being prudent,
fuck me.
You have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 high-rise apartment buildings with different things. Grass on the top of the roofs.
That thin one's a hotel
why is
for
this
the
breaking
NFL.
News?
That's an NFL hotel, by the way.
Still, Will, why is this breaking news at midnight?
Well, it was actually tweeted about 4 hours ago, believe it or not.
Right. Okay.
It's by Football London. So let's the 15 June, Gold, 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Written by Ali Gold. So
what are we doing building skyscrapers? We're a football club.
I like the way Stel can't say. I like the way Stel can't say skyscrapers. He says skyscrapers.
So here's the gallery. You got a big, nice rock climbing wall.
Yeah, it's to host all the NFL fans when they come over.
Look at this. It's Disneyland. It's Disneyland. That's why I said DL. THDL.
There's your Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on the right, and then the land to the left there. High-rise apartment buildings. A big giant rock climbing wall.
And people who have been to the stadium will know exactly. Just go down again, please, mate. Sorry.
This way?
Yeah, that's it. So that big building there, if people who have been to the stadium will know exactly where that is because you know where that stand is.
That's
mate, that's
my
crazy
seat. That's
shit.
my entrance.
Yeah, it will be.
And then,
Bob, what are we looking at, Bob? What are we looking at?
We're looking at someone who's obviously got their eye.
It's gonna be a diving platform.
We're looking at someone whose ball is elsewhere, and their eyes on that ball. I mean, what use is all this? What use is all this, guys?
Going to be a pool, a diving pool.
But Will, what's the point of all this if we're going to be constantly finishing 8th or 9th? And out of your, what is the point of all this? I really hope, there's a part of me, and call me stupid, there's a part of me thinking the only reason they've put this out is because they know they're going to be doing something special this season, and they can justify putting this out. I don't think I honestly hope the PR people at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club aren't that fucking stupid to put something like this out, and expecting fans to get all excited about it. I'm really hoping they're thinking, you know what? Okay, so we've established what kind of budget we've got. We've established what kind of players we're bringing in. Let's get them more excited. Let's salivate them, and show we can back up. We can back up this by bringing in players to match our ambition.
But we're not.
I'm really hoping.
But we're not. I know, because Daniel Levy said we've lost £200 million. FFP's a problem. The whole footballing world is trying to get over it. Everyone's fighting to be, resilient and to deal with the pandemic financial issues that have hit us. His whole video was an accountant's debrief of all the difficulties. This.
But listen, I gotta break this out here because everything. Because look at this. Outdoor climbers landing platform. So you can climb outside of the building and climb up to the top and climb inside it. And then there's a diving pool. That's what this thing on the right here is. People can see my mouse. It's a cylinder pool, and you can dive from the platform. And basically, you're diving down, 30 feet or however tall it is. I don't know. Then there's a Summit Cafe. So there's a coffee shop on the top, north viewing platform, so you can look out at the city or do whatever. There's an indoor climbing wall and an elite indoor climbing, street reception and lobby. That's just on this little building right here.
Well, the way it's going there, mate, that'll be the only elite thing in our club.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
But look, hey, you guys thought the ESL was bad. What he's basically doing now is turning Tottenham Hotspur into an amusement park. So it doesn't matter how the football, we could get relegated and go down to the League One. And it doesn't matter because he's still going to be pulling the same amount of revenue based on all of these capital expenditures that us fans are paying for. Because
that's why I said. That's why I said remove the FC from THFC, right? Remove the FC and replace it with DL, Tottenham Hotspur Disneyland. That's what we are now, Tottenham Hotspur Disneyland. But we're like butlings on the football pitch.
Tottenham Hotspur Amusement Park.
Yeah.
Fuck my life.
And yep, I can't wait till after Arsenal starts winning cups. I can't wait until Arsenal starts winning cups and they say, "What are you going to do now?" I'm going to Tottenham Land.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Sky Cafe.
I'm going
I'm gonna dive off the roof on the way down.
I'll be honest, Bob. I think that thin hope that you was clinging to is like you're like fingernails hanging off the edge of the building now.
I think you guys have collectively poo-pooed all over that, haven't you?
Because this is the same team, the same PR, the same management structure that thought we all wanted to join the Super League.
Yeah, you're right, mate. You're right, Jace. Yeah, all right. Cheers, mate.
Sorry, Bob. I didn't,
Every single penny goes back into the football club.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Team.
That's what he said.
He said team.
Not club, team.
Yeah, not the club, the team.
He goes back into the football team.
He's just lucky that he that didn't get out until after I did my video. Otherwise, there would have been a far more boisterous tone.
Maybe the
probably
team
got more views.
Maybe the team are going to be training in the diving pool and the sky walk thing. Therefore, it is going back into the team because that's where they're going to be training now, in that building.
I mean, I like the way you're thinking. And I'm being a good boy, Will. I'm not going to swear.
No, we're past the 10-minute mark.
We're past that, mate. We're past that.
Past that long time ago.
What a fucking shit show.
Yeah, look, you know what I mean? Oh man, I'm serious.
I don't know, man. It's like it gets me every time.
What do you guys think they're hoping to gain? Are they honestly expecting some people to
tell you right now? Boatloads of money is what they're hoping to gain.
Yeah, I know.
Another couple of yachts.
The whole PR.
Imagine one apartment there is £2 million or £3 million. And
what, in Tottenham?
Or even more.
In Tottenham?
Tottenham's
like Detroit of America.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's gentrification, mate. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to kick out. He's trying to change the living conditions of the area. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
He's already put his deposit in.
And this is what people don't realize, right? When people say that he's improved Tottenham, he's improved Tottenham, but not for the people that live there. Or he hasn't improved the people. Now these people, you think people that live in Tottenham are going to be able to afford a flat like that?
I remember you saying that. So all the poor are moving over, having to move out into a poorer district. And it's the only people who are benefiting from all this.
Are the rich people
are the richer people. Yeah, the rich people are getting richer.
I've heard the rooftop apartments have been reserved for Lady Gaga and Anthony Joshua.
I mean, look, they deserve that. I mean, they've earned the right to
listen.
Live on
All all this would not be an issue. If this exact tweet plans were given out to Man City fans, they'd be so proud. They'd be like, look at us, look at what we're doing.
Brian, come back on. Brian, come back on, mate. Come back.
I tried to send this news to Brian before I sent it to Stone. And
every comment Brian makes begins with, "I'm absolutely raging."
Come join.
I don't blame him though. You can't blame him.
I think that was his. That is wedding vows as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody playing a motorcycle game or what?
Wedding vows were like that as well.
Daniel Levy's trying to turn Tottenham Hotspur into New York, man.
I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if all the profit actually was ploughed back into the team.
Yeah,
or we won trophies.
Then I'm like, right, I'd be like, build whatever you want if you're piling all that profit into the team, but you're not.
If we were winning trophies, no one would care about this development. But because we win nothing, and Daniel Levy tells us that we're in a financial crisis as a club, this just... Do you know what? Who the fuck does this, man? Who puts out a video and tells the fan base, feel sorry for me, I'm sorry, but look at the financial problem, and then 2 days later, by the way, we're going to build mini New York. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah. It's like, Levy, read the room, man. Just read the room.
This is, do you know what? Bob, you know you said that Fonseca won't get a lot of time to get it together as a football team. Do you know what? That just shortened. This news was just shortened. Mate. Because every time we go to White Hart Lane now, we're going to see cranes, building contractors, scaffolding. We're going to look at that and
foundations,
see money, and we're going to go to the match and see no quality football players being bought. Fans are going to flip. Fans are going to flip off this.
Yeah, but it's not going to be fans. It's going to be customers, consumers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. The word "fan," right? Yeah, is just a label. If you bought a T-shirt, you're a fan, apparently. But in reality, you're just basically a consumer and a customer. And it looks like, from those latest images, it genuinely looks like that's where the priority is. It's purely based on business, making money, entertainment, bringing the people, giving them a beer in 2 seconds flat. We've got new technology for that, but we don't have the new technology on the field. We can't get Lamella to keep running like the $6 million man.
I think you know the whole sense of feeling immune. The best way to sum it up. I know it's a few years now, but especially to Stel, Jason, and Mr. K. Compare the feeling we've got now of our club that we love dearly, to the love we had of our club after the '91 Cup final. Mate, just compare it. And we had a lot less money back then. Mate, we were going out of business. Bob,
do you know what really annoys me? When fans say, I don't want us to be like Chelsea, and Chelsea have won 20 trophies in the last 20 years, and they say, I don't want to be like Chelsea. I fucking don't understand fans like that. I don't understand fans like that.
I do. It's the same as
Levy Land. I love that.
Those that don't always claim they don't want to be like those that do until they do. And then, do you know what I mean? It's like, all this, you got bought a league. I'd love someone to buy us the league.
Right, 100%.
Please 100%. Buy us the league.
Do you know what Chelsea fans say to me? You know Chelsea fans now? I always used to say to them, yeah, but you buy success, you buy trophies, you bought the lot, you don't win, you buy. I used to say that. And do you know what they've started saying to me the past 2 years? And I don't have a comeback now. They say, yeah, but you spent £1 billion on a stadium. Yeah, but you built £40 million academy. Yeah, but you spent money on 3 skyscrapers. And do you know what? You can't argue no more. You can't even say to them that you spend money on stuff, because they just say, but you're spending the money. You're just not spending it on your club, on your team.
But let's not. And not only that, Stel. Right. It's not only that, mate. It's probably 1, maximum 2 seasons where you have to go out and push the boat out and get in player or those big money. Man City, really, when you stand back and look at it, they've only really had one massive transfer summer when they bought the 2 fullbacks in. After that, mate, it's been 60 million here, 40 million here, 70 million here, 60 million here. They've not really gone out.
Same with Liverpool.
And same with Liverpool.
One big window.
And apart from Chelsea,
you're right.
Before then, it was thingy. So, you know, you do buy the league, but what it does is sets a foundation.
Yes,
it sets an identity. It sets a base to go on to bigger and better things. Because that buying the league one-off will bring that revenue in. The revenue will continue to come in, and then you can build on it. So, like Jay says,
and
mate,
it attracts
whoever wants
players.
to come in and buy us the league, fucking do it, and do it now.
Yeah, you're buying a foundation, is what you're doing.
Exactly, mate.
And then every year you top up, so that those players that are getting slightly older, you buy a class replacement, and then you just keep rolling with it. It's like, you're right, Bob.
So have they started building? Have they started building the hotel and apartment buildings yet?
Like there's a lot of there's a lot of empty land. Like
the foundations.
There's a lot of empty land there.
The foundations.
You can see something is there. And when I don't know about you still, but when I walk past,
you can see the columns. You can see the columns coming out of the ground.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing something here, but you can't. Obviously, you can never gauge it just from a ground foundation kind of thing.
Bob, when we were at the protest, the first one, I went over to the security people because you know where where all those people in that image you can see are walking. You know, if you were to keep going to the left off the screen, you've got an underground car park entrance.
Yeah.
I went to the security guards there and I said, "Why is this all boarded up? Why have you boarded it up like you're still building?" And he goes, "Oh, we can't really talk about it. This is why. This is why."
No,
guys,
this isn't the plan from day one.
You know, I'm looking at this right now and I'm thinking to myself that if I was that fan that is like not too clued up in what's going on, I would look at this and say, wow, it looks like Superman's going to fly across the screen. Batman's going to swing around the corner. Iron Man's going to come out. Does it? It looks like Walt Disney.
Yeah, it looks like the start building.
It does.
That's gonna overlook the south stand, isn't it? Still.
Yeah.
You say it's 51 meters, about 51 meters tall.
Yeah. So people will be seeing it as they're certainly going up the stairs. They certainly see it within the stadium. And like Stel says, you know, if we're 3-0 down at home against...
I'm just reading an article.
Well, new stadium or the lane of the glory.
I'm just reading an article, and in between the hotel and that skywalk thing, apparently at Christmas, the ground will turn into an outdoor Christmas ice rink. So we'll be having ice skating as well in the cold months in Tottenham.
Right, guys, we've got one more guest coming in.
Let him bring himself in. He can bring
David Sanchez should be good on the ice rink. There's always fucking
I think
over.
Where's Brian? Brian's cooling off somewhere. So for the time being, Stu MC, Seville, what's going on here? Atletico Simeone, it can be done. He's right, you know. There are clubs out there that have had less money or the same money we've had, and they've been able to pull it together successfully. And I think Bob Spurs turned around and Bob said it straight, and that is those are the clubs that have a philosophy and direction, and they've chosen a manager to match that. So season in, season out, they're not going to get rid of him. You know, that's their number one asset for implementing their ideas in terms of how they want the club to be. And he's done a fantastic job with the type of money he's got. And he's pulled in some really top people as well. I mean, isn't that what Spurs want to become? Isn't that what Spurs will become if we can do things like that?
They've got a chairman that backs their managers, though, and sticks with them when it gets difficult.
Yeah. So ultimately it comes back to...
spend a bit of money.
You know, ultimately it comes back to, you know, the hotels, the properties, the assets. I mean, let's face it, the players are assets, right? So I think Bob has a point where he turns around and says, is he really a good businessman? Because he's allowed these assets to depreciate in value quite considerably. Anyway, with that in mind, Cody Max in the house.
Look at that fucking beard.
Hi, Cody.
Some beard. I love that beard. I used to have a beard like that a long time back.
The underneath angle makes it look about twice as long.
What, you mean like this angle right here? Or?
Oh, dear.
Look, I'm on my cell phone, so just let me know if my connection is a little bit sketchy. It doesn't tend to be very good on this. But yeah.
You're looking gorgeous. I love those paintings behind you. I love those paintings behind you. They're absolutely gorgeous. That real wood painting?
No, his daughter did it.
No, that's just cheap. That's just cheap.
Welcome to the WillStewartTHFCRants art show, where we discuss the explosion of colours and artwork.
Cody, Levy Land products aren't cheap, you know.
No, they're not cheap, but they're cheaply made, so I can't really say that they're quality. But yeah, it's what is it? Monday night, Tuesday night.
That
news has me in a drinking mood. That's unreal. I don't want to go too deep onto the property development issue here, because I need to, if I'm being honest, I need to educate myself on exactly what's going on and who's paying for what and what's going on. But on the surface, and just from what you guys have been talking.
Cut out there for a second, Cody.
Oh man.
Can we just clarify, because Cody Matt was about to say, I'm not sure who's behind this one. Not Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have been given the planning permission for this. Spurs are the ones that have been given planning.
Well,
who funds it, who will end up owning it is different, but it's Spurs that are behind it.
Who's going to develop it is another thing.
But Spurs are the ones that have been given the planning permission. So Levy and Enoch and Joe Lewis are all over this, man. They own Spurs.
So basically, the money that's going to be the revenue it's going to generate, Eugene, it's going to go back to Tavistock / Enoch / Levy.
Yeah,
of course. That's what he says, is that the revenue, every penny goes back into the club, and that's what I said in my reaction video I did to him.
It goes back into the team, Will. It goes he said every penny goes back into the team.
That's absolute bollocks, because
it is. Too right.
We've been the most profitable
I've been
club.
saying, which team?
No, listen, we've been the most profitable football club for the last 5 years.
Which team?
Yeah, which team
on the board?
So where'd all that money go?
Yeah.
If it went in the money, but we didn't buy anyone for 3 of those 5 years, where did it all go?
The account
back to the team.
You know, he calls us a self-sustaining club. Well, it certainly is nice to see what exactly it is we're sustaining, you know, because it isn't a football club anymore.
Pocketbook.
We're doing well, aren't we? We're doing well if we can afford that. We're sustaining it pretty well.
I think for the first time in the entire history of me supporting Spurs, I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of dross we bring in the transfer window. Because normally in a transfer window, I foolishly cling on to this hope that we're going to bring in someone world class, but I'm like, no, we're just going to bring in some dross. Because that's going to happen. I'm so dejected with all this crap.
It is the most, I think, hands down, the most dejected, delusional, distant I felt from my football club ever. And I mean, honestly, I mean that. And this is including Sugar and Scholar under this as well. It is the most distant and disheartened I've felt from Tottenham Hotspur Football Club ever in my life.
They've got
in my life.
Just wait.
You know what really pisses me off about this is the fact, and you know, I'm obviously, like, living in Canada, I wasn't able to go to attend any of the protests. But if I was gonna fly over there for a reason, if it was going to be between attending a football match and going to a protest, it would be to go to a protest at this point.
There you go, mate. There you go.
This just is so angering that there weren't more people that showed up to the protests when they had the chance to. You know, when you got people like Bob Spur, who's going probably against medical advice, showing up and willing to show up multiple days and then go back again. It's just. Yeah, it just pisses me right off. We you know what, you get what you deserve when you have a fan base that's sleepwalking through it. It's really frustrating. It's hard to see a path to success against this ownership when we just don't have enough people who understand what they're doing.
Success.
Do you think the lack of protest probably has probably made them a bit more blasé with bringing everything out?
I don't know. I think, look, Levy's brought out a video, right? He doesn't normally like to do things like that. So that means someone's forced his hand.
Oh no, he got rattled. I totally agree with what was said earlier. Those protests, small though they were, they rattled him, and he knows that the fans' opinion of him is definitely.
He's got Brian's emails.
Dude, I'd love to be a fly on the wall if he actually ever read one.
That'd be wicked.
Can I make a prediction?
Go for it.
We're going to sell Harry Kane.
Yeah.
And he's not going to spend all the money we get from Kane. And when he's questioned about it, he's going to make another video or a chairman's statement through the website saying we couldn't spend all the money because we're committed to buildings outside of the South Stand.
And you know what?
And the ladies thing. And don't forget the ladies thing as well.
I want to remind everybody to make sure to like the video and subscribe right now. We've got 90 people watching right now to the tail end of this show. So if you're new to the show, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like the video.
Please put that comment up by Celery Agent. That's fantastic. That should be the name of that. Should be the name.
Big up, Tom. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Which one? That one?
No, further down. There's 5 down.
5 down. Oh, I was going to put that later. I was going to put that. I was going to put that one down, but I just wanted to have a quick little. I just wanted to give Thomas over here a little shout out. Thomas hasn't really come on our panel before ever, and I think really what's happened is that sometimes fans, they overcome their feelings of staying in the chat when they have something strong to say. I mean, I remember when I first came out into becoming a panelist was because I felt something very strong when Brian Ireland was on, and I was trying to express it, but it wasn't coming across. And I think more people, you are most welcome to come onto this panels when the show has gone past a certain stage. Super chats are always accessible to us. We'll always make time out for them because we know it's hard-earned money. And, you know, we do respect everyone because we know the economics of people out there. It's not easy to do this.
Levy doesn't understand the economics of people out there.
I tell you what it is. We're sharing with each other.
Levy's just taking our money for fun.
No, Levy's not having any of our money. We're being very careful with it from now on.
He's got it already.
Will has been saying for ages that one of the strongest way to fight a situation or to be part of a movement is to do a little bit, and if that little bit means don't buy a t-shirt directly from Spurs and buy it from an antique shop or buy it from an alternative place, then do that. And I think this is another way, which is encouraging YouTube content creators to talk about the subject that you hold dear, that give you an opportunity to interact as well. And I think
better not call it a Death Star Stadium because, like, I love Star Wars and I've got a Death Star tattoo, and you're going to ruin that.
Anyway, Thomas James Smith.
No, we're not going to call it a Death Star.
All right, hold up. So the rule with super chats is we actually have to read them, not just put them on the stream. So we actually got to read it, and it says, "Thanks for having me on, lads. Thank you for coming on, and we appreciate that." So
okay. We all got the protocol now. So that's the protocol. We thought we just had to discuss it.
No, it actually has to be read out. That's the rule.
Will, you know we discussed your one.
Mr. K's like Daniel Levy. He's just making it up as he goes along, isn't it? Just
you know what it is? I'm actually a little bit shy about the whole situation. I genuinely, I'd rather have people put Enoch out in the chat than have anything else. I'd rather have Enoch out in the chat rather than having likes, to be frank. Because it means that they understand.
Will's actually Will's face right now.
No, but all you guys out there, like the channel,
don't bother with
the channel, like the show, and
don't bother with likes.
More people will see it.
Yeah.
That's what
I mean, that's fine. I mean, your cut comes out of this show, so that's up to you, mate.
No, seriously, guys, it's one of the things which I've noticed about the Spurs fan base on YouTube is how they like to really encourage each other, how they like to back each other up.
Don't bother with super chats. Just Enoch.
Super chats help. They help the creators.
I feel like I'm on a life coaching. It's like a life coaching training course. It's like the Tony Robbins NLP
non-investment arena.
He's gonna get us. He's gonna start making us walk on fire in a minute.
I was so pissed off. I was actually writing your first super chat, and literally just before I pressed send, my daughter came up to me. She went, "Dada," and she spilt loads of milk down there. So I had to leave it, go, and I thought, I want to be the first ever super chat. Sent it into Will, and fucking Wayne Bonner, you kid, beat me to
I love Wayne Bonner.
Wayne Bonner's always there.
Fucking Wayne Bonner.
Wayne Bonner's a hero. Wayne Bonner's a hero.
He's a legend.
He's a hero, that man.
Honestly, he's like me, but in West London.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All the crowds outside, all the protest crowds outside Tottenham Hotspur Stadium know who Wayne Bonner is, because all Mr. K was doing mostly was Wayne Bonner.
Everybody knows Wayne Bonner's name.
We've got an outsider's opinion here. So.
Who's Wayne Bonner?
A Tom Man United fan.
Oh,
yeah. How's it going?
Hello, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Welcome,
Tom. Welcome
to Levyland.
It's not going well at all, Tom. It's not going well at all, mate.
Guys, I've got a proposition. If Will is game, and that is, I had a prior engagement at 1:00, which I'm actually very late for. I meant to get there as well, but don't worry about that. I was going to say, if Will is here and you guys are here, please do continue with this.
Yeah, bounce out if you have to, man. That's why I jumped on. So you can bounce out.
Can I just bow out by doing one last thing for the show? There's something which I love more than anything else. I love doing this. I love pointing out the Williams Rangers, the patrons, the lovely people that have decided to invest every month to make this show happen. That's Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne Bonner, we just talked about him, the legend, Mama Coates, Celery Agent, AG, Gaguma, Tony Coe, and Alex Belton. Guys, my wish is in 6 months to a year, the right-hand side to be full of names as well. Hopefully, I might even stick my name there first. But listen, thank you very much, all of you panelists. Thank you very much, Cody, for jumping in. Thank you very much, Tom. I didn't get a chance to speak to you. Jason, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, and always good to hear your voice. Cody, thank you very much. I love that beard, Cody. You're making me beard envious. It's luscious. Stelios, thank you very much for making some time out. And Lukman, Eugene, you're an absolute legend. And Bob, I can see your eyes are squinting a little bit. You're getting a little bit wee tired, or it could be the hay fever. Listen, thank you very much for coming on with your sofa, and hope the little one's super duper fast. And Will, thank you very much for coming in and backing me up. I really do appreciate it. All the best, guys.
Anytime,
and Thomas bottled it last week when I came on. When I come on, and everyone was brilliant about it. Cheers, lads. Guys, can you talk about this while I go? Thomas, thank you very much for coming on. I want you to come on again with a slightly better microphone situation if you possibly can. Love to hear your viewpoints. And I'm not going to leave the studio like this. Will, can you knock me out of here so I don't end the broadcast?
He doesn't end the stream again.
I actually can't. Just close out the window. So whatever browser you're watching on, just hit the X at the very top of the browser. Just don't touch anything in the stream. Just close out the browser.
Okay, guys, I'm going to go. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Let's wait for the Zorro.
All right, mate.
I've never heard anyone ask anyone knocking them out.
That was the longest goodbye. That was the longest goodbye in the history of Spurs YouTube.
The face.
I mean, I feel like Mr. K just won the Eurovision Song Contest.
Brian Daigle, this is Mr. K's show. You can feel free to get it monetized however you need to. It's all good with me.
Right, actually, before Brian goes off on one, I'd like to know what the
Tom thinks.
Yeah, Tom, Man United fan.
Yeah. So
what's your thoughts?
What are you exactly talking about with Tottenham then? New manager or?
Oh, now the new property development.
Yeah, Daniel Levy turning our club into Disneyland.
I've got a question for Tom. Tom, you Man United fans in general have got a big problem with the Glazers and the way they're running your club. Yet for me as a Spurs fan, I see investment and expensive players being bought. Yeah. So when you look at Tottenham, what do you make of us?
What I see from Tottenham is from the commercial side of it. I'd love what Tottenham's got, where you modernise the stadium, where you modernise the training pitches. That'll attract players. And when you look at clubs like Tottenham, for example, the way that they've modernised over the last 10, 15 years, Tottenham have one of the best, brand spanking new stadiums in the world, if not the best new stadium in the world. The project that was built there. And when you can host things like NFL games, Old Trafford can't even hold that. Wembley's only holded it on a few occasions. So when you compare it from the commercial side of it, Tottenham are making a success out of it. But I see where a lot of Spurs fans come from with they own the game football. It's all right commercially doing it, but that's for the owners. For fan bases, it's you want to see what's happening on the field and things. And these sort of decisions are made at board level, from where you buy the manager in, you bring in your technical directors, your sporting directors, like you brought in Patricia and stuff like that, which I think is a good appointment for you. Taking a new step in a new direction by bringing in a director of football. I mean, it's better than what Man United did by bringing in Darren Fletcher and John Murtrode, but that's another question for Man United fans anyway. But when I look at it from a standpoint of view, from a neutral point of view, Tottenham, in terms of how they go forward from now, is you've got to rebrand Tottenham. You've got to rebrand the club, essentially, from my perspective, because
like
when you want to, in terms of rebranding, what I mean by that is basically you've got to get back into the top four in some shape or form. You've got to get back at the top level before you can start attracting these sort of things. This is why I look at managers like Conte and stuff. Daniel Levy didn't exactly fill in with joyfulness when you don't offer him the project that he wants, and Conte's a demanding person. If you don't give him what he wants, then he won't accept it, or he'll be gone within 12 to 18 months anyway. You know, when you look at a club like Tottenham, you need a project manager. You need somebody who's going to be here for a couple of years, 3-4 years, and Pochettino was the guy, and I was very surprised that you even let him go in the end, to be honest with you. I know it wasn't going well at the time, but I was very surprised you didn't persevere and stick with him at the time. But what I mean by rebranding is get a new identity, get a new play style. You need something new. You've tried, Pochettino, you had 5
Is
years.
Levy the man for that in your neutral eyes, Tom? Is Levy the man to do that?
No, but this is the problem. No. You can replace Daniel Levy. I know at Man United we're replacing Ed Woodward, but we're just going to replace him with another banker. And at Tottenham, you replace Daniel Levy would get replaced with another idiot who wouldn't know what to do anyway.
Tom, the difference is Ed Woodward doesn't own Man United. Levy part owns the club, so our chairman is actually the owner as well.
Daniel Levy's not going to sell his shares anytime soon in the club.
No, he's not going to sack himself.
He makes money out of it. He makes commercial revenues out of it. So he's not going to exactly shift anywhere.
Every dime goes back into the club, though, Tom. Every dime, every penny.
Yeah.
According to Daniel Levy, anyway.
Goes down to the team.
I look at it from Man United perspective. We take £1 billion out, and we're in gazumptious amount of debt. And I look at such as Tottenham over that period with Pochettino. Pochettino was arguably one of the best managers in the world, and in many cases, a lot of rival fans were saying it with Pochettino took, probably a decent Tottenham side and made them
overachieved, Tom. He overachieved, yeah.
Made them into title challenges and Champions League.
Tom,
in a way, it was punching above your weight. Many
100%.
Tom, you say you're in this debt, but you spent 85 million on Maguire, 60 million on Bruno, 60 million on Wan-Bissaka, 40 million on Donny van de Beek. We're in massive debt. We do not spend on the quality that you have bought. I would take Van de Beek, Bruno and Wan-Bissaka in a heartbeat at Tottenham. Maguire, I'm not sure, but the other three would walk into the Tottenham team.
Oh, yeah. I completely get where you're coming from.
And you're about to drop £95 million on Sancho.
Yeah, well, I completely get that point of view, but the problem with...
Whereas we're building a skywalk with a climbing frame and a diving pool for 95 million.
No, I completely get where you're coming from with that, and it's like when the main thing for Tottenham was you want to win trophies. You go to any football club, the main ambition is to win trophies. Anywhere in England, it's win a trophy, and I look at the model that I think Tottenham should try and follow down is the Leicester model. The Leicester model, absolutely the Leicester model. The ownership, the connection with the owners, the fans, the club completely. Over the last 5-6 years, this club nearly, was in the Championship, not, previous decade, and then they've gone on since then and won the Champions League. They want to, put in a way they are punching above the weight in terms of challenging. But
you hit the nail on the head though when you said it. We had it with Poch, but then we sacked him.
Yeah, exactly. You sacked him. This
6 months after a Champions League final.
And the one thing that I will always say about football clubs is every club, there is always the right manager out there. It's finding that manager that suits the club. And Pochettino suited Spurs. But boots to the ground. Rodgers suits Leicester. Tuchel suits Chelsea. It's proven fact when you see players, when they want to play for a manager. And they want to
I noticed you didn't mention Ollie.
Well, I'm not going to get into that debate about it, to be honest with you. I just end up getting stuff about that anyway. But it's like when people were saying about getting Pochettino and stuff. Daniel Levy at the time would have never let Pochettino leave at all. And all that where you were on about possibly going and getting back in for him, I think Pochettino was kind of playing you along, stringing you along a bit to get an extension at PSG. Pochettino's a man, he likes to have years wrapped up, 4 or 5 years wrapped up, and where he can work and operate. Where, if you went and got Conte, you would have decent football for a while, then you'd have a major blow up. The phrase of a match made in hell was very true with Daniel Levy and Conte, and that's why I think it would have never worked in a million years. And even the guy you're going for now, Fonseca, you basically sacked Mourinho, who's replacing Fonseca, and Fonseca's now replacing Mourinho. You basically switched managers, and
trust me, the irony of that situation is not lost on.
And they both finished seventh.
Has not escaped us.
They both finished seventh, exactly. Roma didn't exactly do anything, and neither did Tottenham really this year. And when your best player, your star player, what says that he doesn't want to be at the club, that pretty much sums it up. I know with Man United, we've got his own saga with Paul Pogba, and we've managed to weigh it out for the last year or so. But with someone like Harry Kane, it's going to take a lot of convincing.
Do you think Kane will go to United, Tom?
Honestly, no, because I don't think we'd pay the money to get him. I think if he's going to go anywhere, I think he'll go City. I think he'll go Man City if he's going to go anywhere.
That's interesting.
Tom, is a general consensus amongst United fans looking at Spurs fans and thinking, what a bunch of whinging twats?
Well, I get what you mean by that, but it's like we've said about with the way football clubs are. Football clubs nowadays, they're not run how they used to be. They're not run on passion or ground roots. It's money. Money's taken over the game massively. Where you look at development with I take Manchester City. Albeit people can say that they pump money in and they've won the league, but I look at Man City. They've developed the stadium, they developed the training ground, the women's team, even the local area. They've developed a whole new town in theory from the blue side of Manchester. And Tottenham,
but they also invested in the team, though. That's what I'm saying. We're doing the same things as them, except we're not investing in the team.
Yeah, this is you don't invest in the team, but I even look at a lot of the players that you have bought. I look at Pochettino, for example. Pochettino was very good at getting the best out of what he had, and he got a tune out of, in a way, mediocre players. Because I think if you would have said to him, you can go out there and you can have Andy Robertson at left back, you can have Alphonso Davies at left back over Danny Rose, he would have bit your finger off to go and get a player like that. But he had to work with what he got, and you don't make the financial changes to go and get these sort of players. And it's like with a Reguilón deal. In theory, you're basically going to get bit in the arse when Real Madrid come calling next summer when they want him back with that buyout clause. And then you've got to find a new left back again. That's the only reason why, such as Man United, in a way, I think it was a smart move by us not going down that path. But at the time, Tottenham needed players, and you needed to, in a way, void the fan base out. Because if you bring players in and stuff, it's going to. Let me put it like this: if Harry Kane's come out and said tomorrow, I'll stay because I like the project that Fonseca sold me. A lot of Tottenham fans will be joyful, and it'll be an excitement for the future. If a manager like that can come in and turn Harry Kane's mindset around within a heartbeat, then clearly he must have some influential impact. But even when you look at a player like Harry Kane, is at the stage now where he needs to win trophies, and if he's going to do it now, he has to make a move now. But in theory, I don't honestly think anybody's going to pay 150 million anyway. And even if you get the 150 million for Kane, the main thing is, who do you replace him with? We're
going to build another skyscraper. You're going to
build another skyscraper. Probably. It
wouldn't
surprise me.
Now, underneath the NFL pitch, they're going to put a swimming pool, and so that they can pull that away too, and then there'll be an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
In the winter, they'll freeze it, and then you can hold ice capades there and Disney on Ice and make even more money.
Just try holding NHL matches in there.
No.
We'll start an ice hockey team. We ice hockey quite popular.
Oh yeah, commercially, you make a fortune commercially out of all the other sports. It's a multi-sport stadium because you can do NFL games, you can do,
You change our name to Sporting Tottenham, then, huh?
Well, you might as well. You could rebrand Tottenham as if Tottenham died as a football club, there'd be a queue around the block to turn it into a multi-sport franchise. So they'd host all the game. It'd be another.
Do you know what, Tom?
Situation.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that. I bought. Have you heard of the magazine called The Economist?
Yeah. I know The Economist.
So on 1st of January 2000, or just before, The Economist brought out its Millennium Edition, and on the front page it says year 2000. So it was the first publication for year 2000, and in The Economist they did predictions for the next 20-30 years, and in their predictions was a section on football. I'm gonna find this and get it up on one of our shows one day. And they said that they predicted that by 2020 football will be completely run and dominated by money. Money will be the controlling power in football. They then said by 2025-2030 a Super Money League would be formed.
The Super League.
And
nearly happened.
And by 2030-35 football would be dead because they would have lost all the fans. That's something The Economist wrote 21 years ago. And you know what? You just triggered me into remembering the article. I'm going to find the article because I've got it saved. And I'm going to put it up on one of these shows one day. I'll share it amongst all the Spurs YouTubers so they can all show it. But I've got the article. And they predicted this.
Yeah.
Scary.
Said,
that is quite scary.
Like you said about money and stuff. But this is the thing. I look at, even if you put a club like Tottenham up for sale, there's going to be buyers around the corner. But it's not as easy as people say that buying a player is, not an easy deal. Well, selling a football club is going to be near enough 10 times as hard to do. And you want proof in the pudding. The Cronkays are the stingiest owners in football. And put rivalry aside for 1 second, half of the clubs that are in England are owned by American owners. When you really look at it, Liverpool is FSG, Manchester United's Glazers, Cronkays is obviously Arsenal, and you've just hit the nail on the head with the Super League there. The Super League, you might as well not call it the Super League. You might as well call it the Money League, because that is essentially what it was going to be: £3.3 billion payout to join the Super League, with Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, all the top European teams, and football would have been ruined forever. Like we've said about with the franchise, the ground roots of football is, building from scratch, building from nothing. They didn't used to be these major transfer fees of £100 million on players and stuff. It used to be build with what you've got, build within. You develop young players, develop your system, your fan base, and like you've hit the nail on the head when you said about developing and stuff from a commercial point of view. Or anybody who's got a stake in Tottenham Hotspur from a commercial point of view, you'll be laughing because the money's rolling in every week, and it's just the club's developing and getting more wealthier as it goes along. And like you've said there about with the article that you brought up about with the money and development, money will develop football, absolutely, but it has to develop it in the right way. And when I look at clubs like such as Tottenham, you can say, about developing new stadiums and new projects. That's all well and done. When that's done, then you have to push on to the next big thing. Right, we've developed as, should we say our attraction?
NFL franchise, now, ice hockey, Olympic
swimming
pool. That's the next.
Now we need to be challenging.
You're right.
Things.
They've look. Potts said it. You know what I mean? Potts said it. It's all well. I don't know the exact phrasing, but it's all nice. It's all well and good having a nice garden, but if you've got no damn furniture in it, no one's going to sit there, are they?
Exactly.
You need to fill that stadium with players.
Well, that's exactly the thing. And
I have to interrupt you just for a sec. I'm not sure if we read this out, but Thomas said he bottled it last week. You didn't bottle it last week, mate. When he came on and everyone was billiard about it. You're welcome on anytime. There was a little bit of an echo when you came on tonight, but other than that, it's great, and we love having you on. So thanks for coming on. And before we get too deep, too, I'm waiting with anticipation, Tom, to hear Mr. Brian Daigle come in here, and I'm sure that you're going to want to hear this as well. So whenever you're ready to let him erupt,
unleash.
So I've just come on basically so I can get another email to Levy. So basically, he's broken a record. Normally it's 24 hours before his bullshit gets found out. Well done. You've lasted You've lasted 72 hours. A new high for you. The Levy in people and Enoch in people How fucking stupid. Let me just give you an equation, an example of what this buffoon is doing. In the last week, we have acquired a golf course and submitted business plans for a multi-billion pound, whatever, skyscrapers, ice rinks, whatever. We haven't got a fucking manager. We still have Deadwood that have been there for 6 years. But that's okay. Let's buy a golf club. Let's buy some multi-storm. Let's buy some skyscrapers. Let's buy an ice rink. Levy, you are a motherfucking bastard. I am going to be at Hotspur Way every single day I'm back in England, September the 29th to October the 20th. I will be at the ground every day. I will fucking see you. You will fucking see me. And you are going to get the fucking ass kicking. I'm done with all this shit. All the niceties, everything done.
Passion.
Levy, you're a fucking twat. You're a fucking bald-headed, four-eyed fucking moron. End of. You're a fucking... And all the Levy-in people, well done. We've got a golf club, an ice rink, and everything. I'm sure they can play in centre defence, midfield, replacement for Kane. But let's get Fonseca. He's 99% done. Morons. Fucking morons, Levy-in.
Don't forget about the diving pool.
I mean,
I'm sorry, the diving pool. Look, I might as well go get Klinsmann back. Sign Klinsmann.
Rock climbing into the diving pool.
It's funny you say. It's funny you say that about Fonseca. The saga's even rolled on. Like the way I can put it is, there was over talk about getting Ancelotti. That suddenly faded when Real Madrid went and got him. Then you jumped from Ancelotti to Conte. That didn't exactly. That fizzled out. And then you've jumped from Conte to. Then you tried to go and get Espirito Santo, which is now wants to go to Everton instead. And now you're having to jump to Fonseca. And even the Fonseca, it's taken well over a week just to get him done. I don't think Fonseca should take that much convincing in theory. He's out of a job. He probably wouldn't get another opportunity like with Tottenham again. You know, in all fairness, you jump from Roma to Tottenham, I think it is an upgrade. And when I look at it from that perspective, he's not going to have another opportunity like it again. But
tell you the truth, Tom, Tottenham to Port Vale is an upgrade at the goddamn moment.
Well, yeah, well, no, but like you've already said, where you said about that, I could see the passion where people have for football and stuff, and these sort of decisions. These are decisions that don't happen overnight, where you can get rid of people like Daniel Levy, because the stingy people, the stingiest people, I mean, in theory, they're the lowest of the low, and I always hate it when these sort of people...
Tom, I disagree. I disagree. We can get rid of him.
Yeah. Okay,
Tom, we can get rid of him. We
can get rid of it. It'll take time, though. This is the thing. For Man United, it's taken us nearly 7 years to get rid of Ed Woodward. 7 years. Daniel Levy, he's got shares in the club. Thank God Ed Woodward doesn't, because it wouldn't be...
We just need the fan base to unite. We just need the fan base to unite and all just...
This United Front for Football, to save football. It saved football, but it didn't exactly get rid of anybody. Most of the people who was running the Super League are still in charge. The owners are still in charge. The directors, albeit some of them have resigned from UEFA and Premier League roles, but they still run the football clubs.
With the ESL, what happened was it was during the COVID period. So fans there was a lot of anger in humans already with COVID, that being locked up, and there was a lot of mental health issues arising out of COVID as well. So when there was a reason to protest or go against something, this was an opportunity to release. That's why it died off quickly, because at the end of the day, the ESL was never going to happen, not this way. So for me, that was like a bit of a smokescreen in itself, the way fans reacted to it.
Yeah.
For me, Spurs is completely different to United, City, Leicester, Arsenal, Liverpool, all the big clubs that rejected the ESL and protested. You're in a completely different boat, because all of you clubs win trophies. We don't. Our anger should have been above everyone's, because we don't win trophies. So
100%.
For us to not protest nowhere near what the other clubs did, it really, really shook up the fan base, because what's happened now is fans like myself, and obviously you can tell Brian's one of them, Will Stewart, Bob, everyone else, Jason, we don't want Levy at the club no more. We're at that breaking point. And because we're constantly bashing it on social media, on YouTube channels, what's happened now is the Levy in have been pushed into a corner. And those in the middle now are thinking, we can't stay quiet no more and sit on the fence, because they're calling us out. They're making an example of us. Like I blame the fans that Levy's still in the club. All the people that sit in the middle, I say, You moan about the problems, you moan about the transfers, but you don't do a damn thing. Yeah. And they don't like hearing that because
you've got to remember, Stel, this is a guy who tried to furlough staff as well. Probably so he could buy these skyscrapers and everything. Everyone
There's loads of issues with him. There's loads of issues with him.
Yeah,
but the fans are now waking up. The fans are waking up. It's coming, and I predict when the stadium opens up, and Bob Spur was speaking about it before. When the stadium opens up, keep your eye on Tottenham Hotspur. It's going to turn toxic if the team doesn't start performing quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like you said there about with the Super League and stuff. I can say nobody needs to be have internal leaks or anything or internal knowledge to know that the clubs that were running the financial the money league, should we say, was all the American owners from the Premier League. I'm talking Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man United. These are the four most historic clubs in the Premier League. And the one thing that I'll say about Tottenham is Daniel Levy could see that this is going to be a major financial gain for Tottenham Football Club, and he didn't want to miss out. He's basically, well, if we go against it, then I'm losing out on £3.4 billion a year. We're getting all these advertisement TV rights from Saudi Arabia and Qatar if they end up.
Yeah, he smelled the money.
Oh yeah, he's got the money. This is the thing, but he's missing. He'd be missing out on £3.3 billion, and the Glazers and the Kroenkes and all that. Oh yeah, we're sitting there on £3 billion every couple of months or whatnot. But it's like you said there with the Super League and stuff, and you said there about with these projects of golf courses and skyscrapers and stuff. These should be internal findings. It's okay modernising your training ground and your stadium. After Real Madrid finished rebuilding the Bernabeu back up again, the first thing that they're going to do, rebuild into the squad and invest back into the team. That's the first thing that they will do because the squad has taken a major hit to build the brand spanking new stadium for the Bernabeu. And Tottenham should do the exact same thing. You've got the money if you wanted to. All these crap about.
But Real Madrid fans can remove presidents. They remove managers. There's clubs where fans take action.
Political
they take
pressure.
Action.
That's Real Madrid. Spanish football clubs is political pressure.
You're right.
In the Premier League, it's basically fan-orientated pressure. This is what gets managers sacked. Fan pressure. This is what gets players out of football clubs. Fan pressure. That's the only thing that drives it.
Don't wreck Asamoah.
Is the pressure from fans.
The pressure at Tottenham though is now on Levy. The pressure is now going towards Levy though.
It should be on Levy. The only way you get rid of Daniel Levy is if he sells his shares out to somebody else, or it's like the one thing that I will say in the defence of our owners in the Glazers is they've made a fan forum where they actually want to engage with football fans after 16 years. It's not good enough as a Man United fan. I don't think it's good enough, but there is signs of wanting to unify with fans. I look at Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy gets on the phone with Brian. Brian's going to rip his head off. If you get on the phone with any Spurs fan, all it's going to be is can do things commercially.
Brian emails Daniel Levy every day. Did you know that, Tom?
Yeah. I've followed the show for a while, but I haven't ever had the chance to.
Oh, okay, wicked.
With timings or scales or anything, but like you said there with the financial scales, Daniel Levy and the Glazers, it'd be a match made in heaven financially with the commercial revenues. Wouldn't surprise me if they tried to do some link-ups in the future. The amount of money that they'd make. And then you put into fact that Daniel Levy's got shares in the club. Well, he's not exactly going to be budging anytime soon, but Tottenham faded when you got rid of Pochettino, for me. As soon as Pochettino went, that was the downfall with Tottenham, the down spiral. You jumped from Poch to Jose, tried to win a trophy. That was Daniel Levy's way of trying to sweeten the fans, that Jose's a proven winner who wins trophies wherever. Well, 6 days before, I think it was 6 days before the Carabao Cup final, you sack him. I mean, come on, like who makes a decision like that? I know he didn't play the best of football. At least let him make the.
Do you know why we sacked him, Tom?
Go ahead.
It's because if Jose Mourinho won the final, he would have got a bonus.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, got to pay him out. But it's like with you sacking him, you've had to pay him £25 million out.
We sacked the manager that could have won a trophy because we would have had to give him a bonus.
A £3 million bonus at that too, by the way. But before we go to Brian and let him and rant, I just want to say thank you to Aaron again for another €20 super sticker. You can throw those in a chat, man, and actually have a word. But I appreciate you for throwing that sticker up there and donating €20 to the show. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, listen, I've just come on to say my piece. I'm going to go now because this really isn't good for my mental health. I am going to do something very, very stupid very soon. So, Tom, it's a pleasure meeting you, mate. Jason, always a pleasure. Stel, brother, we'll speak soon. Eugene, we'll speak soon. Will, love ya. Levy, you bald-headed bastard, get out my fucking club. I will see you when I'm back, September the 29th to October the 20th, and I will see you.
All right, Brian, thanks for coming on.
Take care, Brian.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.
Take care. No, it's people like Brian though. I love people like Brian. The passion for the game. You love to see it. The passion for the game and for football clubs to do well. And Tottenham, they're not exactly. You know, let's be honest. They're no Real Madrid, but they're no Port Vale. You know, they are where they are. But if you get the right sort of
Tom, you can be honest. We're average. Tottenham Hotspur are average.
I wouldn't say you're average.
Yes, we are.
No,
I think historically, over the course of the Premier League, if you add it all up, I think we've historically finished 6th or something like that. I think if you add up all our finishes and get an average, we would average about.
Yeah, it was only the first 5 years. The first 5 years in the ENIC era that we finished outside of the top 6. And then this is actually the first time in I think 12 years that we finished outside the top 6.
We were the 4th biggest club in trophies. Will we're now the 7th.
Yep, I know. And then but you know what else is weird though is I was actually just looking at a thing on Forbes and revenue wise, even this year 2021 they are calling our revenue at 494 million pounds, which is only down about 25 million pounds from 2019's numbers. And that is the 10th highest in the world, and Manchester United is at 4.2 or 795 million. So the revenue's actually gone up, but under the pandemic, they're at 643. So Manchester United's got hit far worse than Tottenham has over the thing. But your guys' wage bill, our wage bill, is only 0.9 million pounds more than Leicester's and West Ham's.
Yeah.
So, but we're the 10th richest club in revenue in the world.
Yeah.
In the world on Forbes.
Yeah.
And actually revenue more than Arsenal does. But our wage bill is ranked 10th in the Premier League.
Oh yeah.
Where does all that extra cash go? I thought every penny went back into the
skyscrapers, skydiving, pool diving,
swimming pools,
ice skating rink.
That's all financed in the club's name.
Lady Gaga penthouse hotel suites, Anthony Joshua top floor cafe. Just a few things just popped into my head.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, right? You can let me put it like this, right? You can go for any manager, even if you want to go back for Pochettino. You know, Fonseca, I don't think. I've spoken to a lot of Tottenham fans. Fonseca's wouldn't even be on any Tottenham fans' bucket list if you want to go for somebody. You can do it even before Ancelotti went to Everton, if you want to. You know, who would you have actually wanted? Gut feeling.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter with Levy. It doesn't matter. If Levy's there, it doesn't matter.
But it's like with Pochettino. Pochettino, he had 5 years of hell, really. He went through a whole. I think he went through 3 windows in the end, where he bought nobody, and he still got to a Champions League final. If that doesn't show you that something's not right at a football club, then what doesn't? And you buy players like Dele Alli and stuff. You develop and everything. Dele Alli's washed up now. Everybody can admit that in saying it.
He's finished.
He's finished. Completely
Yeah.
finished. Couple of good years for England. That's it. Done. Never get another England cap again.
Yeah, but beyond that, I mean, this is how bad it is. This is what people say. Daniel Levy's a businessman, great businessman, blah, blah, yada, yada, blah, 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 right? 7 million pounds less revenue than Chelsea, and they just won the Champions League.
Yeah.
They spent over 200 million pounds in the transfer window last summer and actually bought quality players. Right, we spent almost 150 million pounds over the last 2 summer transfer windows. Didn't buy anything in the winter ones, but in the summer transfer windows, and we bought the likes of who? Lo Celso, who can't play a full 90 minutes, and Ndombele can't play a full 90 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's like you said with Lo Celso there. It was either Lo Celso or Fernandes.
And we picked Lo Celso because he was 10 million pounds cheaper.
Yeah, and in the end, Man United went for Fernandes.
They had personal terms agreed upon with Tottenham. He did before Man United went in for him.
Yeah,
personal terms agreed.
You agreed with it in the summer, and then you didn't get him, and then obviously we got him in the January. And then in the end, you went and got Lo Celso on. I think you got him on loan, and then you bought him permanently from Betis in the end. But it's like with Tottenham. When I look at some of the players, most of the time you normally go for players on loan and then try and get a buyout clause.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to pay for him now.
Exactly. I just have a gut feel. Like, I think that just shows that the recruitment and the scouting network at Tottenham clearly doesn't work if you're not trusting buying players outright for the sort of prices. It doesn't exactly bring your confidence if you're a Spurs fan if you can't get to have the balls to put money on the side and actually go for a player rather than put them on loan.
The scouting network does work. David Pleat identified Jack Grealish, Mason Mount, Maddison. He identified these players.
And how many of those players are at Tottenham right now?
Right, so it's not the scouting. That's my point. It's not the scouting that's the problem. It's the people that decide. Yes, I'll listen.
The guy with
to
the final
scout.
choice.
Yeah, correct. The decision maker.
Even Steve Hitchen has gotten a bad rap from a lot of fans. But if you really look at all the players that we've been seriously linked to over the past 3 years, there's some big names in there that weren't well known and once they went to a different club became world class players. And we passed Mane, Jack Grealish before Aston Villa was in the Premier League. Bruno Fernandes before you guys were in for him.
Yeah.
Lots of different players like that.
I remember all the links with going and getting Direct. Spurs were happy to go and pay the money to go and get Direct from Ajax. It was a reasonable fee, and you didn't want to do it.
Yep.
You didn't want to put the money on the table. I don't know he's going to Juventus, not exactly done anything else. But
no, but I mean that season we could have gotten Jack Clark for what was it? I think 25 million pounds. We had an agreement, and all we needed to do when the new owner came in was pay an extra 10 million. So we're talking 35 million pounds for Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish, all right. Okay.
Yeah, but instead we go out and get Jack Clark. We spend 15 million pounds on Jack Clark, who hasn't even played in anywhere. Right, he's been out on loan the whole time. And we spent another, I think, how much did we spend on, what's his name? Ndombele in the summer?
Oh, it's
65 million pounds. And then Lo Celso on loan in that same summer transfer window.
And Sessegnon.
We set Ryan Sessegnon for another 15 million pounds. We shipped him out on loan.
30 million. 30 million for Sessegnon.
But tell me right now you wouldn't trade Ndombele for Jack Grealish in a heartbeat.
Oh, you'd be stupid not to. Any football fan would be.
Or if you think about Lo Celso, Jack Clark, and Ryan Sessegnon, you could have had Jack Grealish and Ndombele together.
Well, it's funny to say that. Well, when you talk about midfielders and stuff, at the same time that you were looking at getting Ndombele, there was the rising star at Birmingham City at the time with Jude Bellingham. You did a similar thing when you went and got Dele Alli. You took a stab in the dark when you got him from MK Dons for cheap as peanuts, and then obviously he was decent at Pochettino. Bellingham is one of the youngest ever players to get picked for England to go away. 17 years old. The lad's only just finished maths and English in a classroom, and he's gone to a Euros. And when you talk about it from the perspective of, like you said, with the scouting network and stuff, the scouting network does work, but if the club's not, you can put all the names forward. You can put the next Lionel Messi forward. You can put the next Ronaldo forward. In future years. But unless the person's going to take the hit in terms of spend the money on them and take the risk, football's always about risks, and sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. If you don't take the risk, you're not gonna know, are you?
What really bothered me the most about Levy's video is when he said that that taking a risk on player is something that can have dire consequences to the club if not done right. And that's what really made me mad in that video, and the reaction that I did to his video was you've created the dire circumstances because you haven't spent the extra 5 or 10 million here for the player. It was that everyone knew. Everyone. There was no one 2 seasons ago who didn't think Jack Grealish wasn't going to be a player. There was no one. 100%. No one. And so why are you going to piddle paddle over 10 million pounds with the new owner that comes in, right? Because for what? For what purpose? And you can't 100%. Tell me that with Jack Grealish in our midfield this season, we wouldn't have at least had a chance at finishing in top 4.
Yeah, in the attacking midfield spot, absolutely. Driving it. And even with Tottenham, I think, are a very good side from set pieces. He brings you a lot of fouls, Jack Grealish, and people can say sometimes that's a good thing, because players obviously think, well, I've got to take him out of the game, otherwise they're going to do me, otherwise he's going to turn me a new one. Or you can see it from the perspective of, well, he can't be that great if he's getting fouled that often. I think it's completely untrue when you put it like that. And I remember when we said about with.
He does go down a tad easy, but again, if he's doing that for my team, I'd be happy about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I also want to read out the super chat here real quick. It says, "Big up Will for another good show. Good to have Tom, a fan of a rival club, coming on and giving us an outsider's perspective for Spurs." So, thank you, Tom, for coming on and jumping on here. It's been a good conversation.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
And thank you, the Portugueser, for the £5.
Oh, the Irish Hotspur is in the house.
David, welcome.
Yeah, good morning, lads. Good morning. So, look, I seen Alistair Gold tweet earlier on, about the new Supreme complex we're getting. So we all have to thank Levy for that, first of all. But I was going to leave it till tomorrow, right? I was going to leave it till tomorrow, but then I heard you guys has been listening all evening, and I heard you talking about it. And then I thought back to the Levy interview, which we were just talking about there, so it's perfect timing. So I wrote down it word for word exactly what he said when it came to questioning and asking him about investing money into players will bring success. And he says the financial consequences of buying and selling players, if you don't get it right, there will be dire consequences. We have to be realistic. We are still in a pandemic. The consequences for this particular club has been more severe than any other club in the Premier League. Over 200 million of lost revenue that we cannot recover. Our timing on opening our new stadium could not have been worse. We have the most expensive stadium in Europe and the highest level debt of any club in Europe. But but guys, honestly, no, this is quoted. We should be lucky. We should be lucky because it's all long-term debt. So let's thank Levy for that. Thank you, Levy. We're in a good financial position, and in that sense, we are not getting. Or we are in a good financial position in that sense, but we are not getting revenue we hope to from our stadium. As a consequence, so basically we're all being punished. We are going to have to be careful over the next couple of years because we need to be prudent. And our duty is to protect the club, even though obviously we want to win. Sustainability is what the clubs around Europe are facing, and there are a number of clubs in financial difficulty. We will spend, but we're a self-sustainable club and have to be sensible. Sometimes fans think we ought to be spending, but the coach doesn't want us to spend, right? So he's hiding behind the coach when it comes to buying players. He's hiding behind the pandemic. He's hiding behind the 200 million of lost revenue that the stadium that they decided they'd build hasn't generated. But yet this, and he mentions prudent in a time like this, right? And he wants to go and build a multi-million-pound complex. But not only that, right? This is the best part of it. Also, I've read the article, and so they're willing to basically, they announce it all as the face of it is that it's a community hub and a sports centre, and just randomly throw in little writing down in the article, there's also going to be a hotel and some residential quarters, and and the very last thing, it's supposed to be a community health centre, but that the community health centre will eventually be built on the north side of the stadium. Basically, fuck you to the local people. We don't care about you common people or your health. You can all die. But you know what? The least we will do for you is have the front facing Worcester Avenue. So, right, basically, you know, the actual health centre and for this community centre, it's supposed to be for the community. The health centre will actually be last priority. Now that is shocking.
On the opposite side of the stadium, right? Because this is behind the south stand, not the north.
And there's your money for Skriniar. There's your money for Conte. You know, there was your extra 10 million for Bruno Fernandes. All there. Yeah. Everything. You know, everything he said in the interview the other day was contradicted.
And apparently this has been planned since 2016. But the reason why the news has come out now is because they had to put forth a plan within 5 years or the plan got scrapped.
Yeah.
So that's why this had to come out now, before the end of the fiscal year of 2021. That's 5 years. So the only reason why this came out today, public, is because they had to put forth a public plan or the whole deal will be scrapped.
Yeah.
And fiscal year ends at the end of the month. So they only had, 15 days to throw it out there.
Yeah, well, you've just said there about with Tottenham, they had 5 years to get it out there. Everton had rebuilding and expanding and building a brand spanking new stadium exactly the same, except they're knocking down Goodison to build it somewhere else. Whereas you knocked down White Hart Lane to build it in the same location. You know, I look at such as Everton, for example. Everton have the money. Everton would be a brilliant football club in the Premier League. They've got the money. They've got, you know, the right owners. They've got the right sort of, you know, technical directors. But the one thing that Everton don't have and never had is the attraction. They've never had the attraction. No European football, no major, you know, managers, players, nothing. Nothing like that at all. And that's the only thing that separates clubs like Spurs, is that.
But we're in danger of not doing that again because we got lucky, right? All of the world-class players that we have, Pochettino built. We didn't buy any of them, right? Son wasn't a world-class player when he came to the squad. Harry Kane wasn't a world-class player when he came out of the academy. Right, Dele Alli wasn't a world-class player when he came out of the MK Dons. He's not anymore, but I mean, for during his peak, there was a talk when people were talking about it. Eriksen, Vertonghen, Alderweireld, all of them.
Rose.
The last world-class player that we have bought as a club was Klinsmann before Enoch even took control of the club.
Probably Klinsmann.
Yeah. Right, we sold Bale wasn't world-class when he came on. I guess he lost his connection there, but you know, I mean, hey, I mean that's just the way it's been. We've just been wasting time and wasting money. But we've only got about 15 minutes left, fellas, before I kill this one out. I am going to clip the last hour off this show and upload it by itself for the entitled Levy Land, where all your dreams come true. And
oh dear, nightmares.
Well, I'm going to dodge out now. Gentlemen, it's been emotional. Take care, everyone.
Hey, thanks, Jason.
Guys, I'm going to join Jason too. Will, thanks for letting me on your show again, man. Been an interesting development midway during the show. So
yeah, I was eating dinner and I was just running through my Twitter and I saw that popped up there and I was like, oh, this has got to get talked about. So I sent it to Brian and he didn't see it, and I saw you jump on, so I sent it to you. I was like, this is gotta, because Mr. K never looks at his phone during the middle of the stream. So, but no, I mean, it's just look, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it, and still let people know where they can find you, man.
You can find me looking for Daniel Levy in a dark alleyway in Tottenham. I normally hide behind the bins next to the community centre building. Now, Tottenham Away YouTube channel. Come find me with Brian Daigle, Brian Island, and Shy. Come watch, like, subscribe, but make sure you like this man, Will Stewart. Big up Will Stewart. Loads of time and respect for him. And thank you, everyone else, and big up yourselves. The whole YouTube Spurs family. Let's try and make a change this season and actually get this fan base to do something to force Levy either out or to completely change his way. I think it's coming. I actually think now it's coming, especially with what happened with Last Word on Spurs yesterday. I've got a feeling it's slowly coming now. I do. So fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And you guys know him, you love him, David at the Irish Hotspur. Let people know where they can find you, because you never know, there may be people out there that don't know who you are.
Yeah, you can find me at the Irish Hotspur over there on YouTube. Look, I have a lot of mixed shows. I do shows with Jack and Icky. That's called the Irish Hotspur View. Do tell me your Spurs stories, match reviews, previews. I do the show with all the granddads now, the grey-haired gang. That's why we've nicknamed them today. You know, and I do a lot of debate shows, and of course I do frenemies with Marcelo as well. A big hit on this channel. Every channel he's on as well. And yeah, and sometimes I have my own shows on We're Tottenham TV. So you know, if you like what you hear, especially about that little piece on Levy there, you know, make sure you smash that subscribe button. But look, Will is the main channel here. You know, the big man finally got over 1K. You know, done it a lot quicker than I did. You know, and he's doing a great job and putting out some great content there. You know, another channel with a lot of mixed range of shows there as well. The Cody show, the Tottenham Tea Breakfast. Then you have the Mr. K show, the Bald and the Bearded, and the Three Wise Men. You know, so you have a lot on this channel. So make sure you keep supporting Will.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on, David. And you're always welcome to jump on and join the fray. And yeah, everybody go out and check David. I think it's gonna. You got a couple streams tomorrow, or just one, or what?
So I'll be doing one tomorrow around 12:30 when the fixtures will be out tomorrow, but I'll be doing my bit on it about 12:30 midday. I have another show tomorrow night. I have a Fonseca expert coming on, you know, to basically try and convince me. Basically, you know, I feel like he's been on a few other channels, but he's got an easy ride with some of the questions. So I want to know more. I want to know, does this guy have a plan B if he's if it's not working out in a game? Does he have the balls to change it and you know, different formations and that he can use in the game to try and change the game if it's not working out? You know, if how fit is his team, stuff like that. I have a lot of questions instead of all these, like, you know, oh, what formation does he play, this, that, and the other. I have a lot more pressing questions. And basically, it's just to try and get him to convince me that Fonseca is the guy and people that are thinking like me, you know, because ultimately we have to support the guy when he's announced, you know, we have to support him, we have to get behind him. But then I have a piece here I'm going to do on Daniel Levy and Levy Land as well. I'm not sure whether I'll put that out tomorrow or whether I'll save it. I'm not sure yet.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. And for Eugene, let people know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah. You can find me on Spurs Vision TV. We are a budding channel coming up from the Asian side. We're just getting all the, the fan base in Asia to come out and tell their stories. And even the fan base in anywhere. Spurs fan base anywhere can hop on into my channel. We usually do shows on Sundays, evening Malaysian time, about 8 p.m., about 8 a.m. Americas in the Americas side, and about lunchtime in the European side. So if you have time, hop on and listen to the stories that has been going on. That we have already had 2 shows on. So let's see what we can build from the Asian side. Come on, you Spurs.
And Cody, talk over this. Well, you got a special guest on tomorrow for the morning THFC.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It's someone who I've had interest in just from being in the comments and on the different channels. It's Ellie. She wants us to call her Ellie, but
Ellie on?
I'm gonna. First question is gonna be, how the hell do you pronounce your name? Because it's Aglea Kakaratis, and it's going to be a great show because you know, not only is she one of the best supporters of Spurs YouTube channels, always sending super chats, always in the comments. She's one of the most knowledgeable Spurs fans that I've run into, but she also played for the squad as well back in the day.
Ladies.
So it's going to be interesting to hear some of the stories that she has to say, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Sounds good, fellas. Sounds good. But guys, this is the Three Wise Men show. Normally we're not on here, but due to the announcement of Levy World, Levy Land, Banterland, whatever you want to call it, you know, we kind of jumped on here and kept this going simply because I wanted to kind of flesh this out and show some of the pictures and do all that stuff. So thank you guys very much for watching the show. The next show that I have that I'll be on I don't know. Depending on breaking news, what normally happens. I normally don't stream on a Wednesday. Cody's usually the only show that goes on Wednesdays. If something happens, I may jump on, but my Wednesday days are limited. The big news always tends to seem to happen when I'm not available. But we'll keep an eye out for that. But after that, we've got Thursday at 6:30 p.m. GMT or 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got the Will Stewart's Q&A show that has really kind of turned into a breaking news show because of the nature of what's going on. And also too, we've got something else that might be popping up here pretty quick. So make sure to check that out on the channel. Thanks for liking and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already.
Will, Friday, Scotland and England?
Yes, Friday, Scotland and England. I'll be doing a live watch along here on the channel for that.
Yeah, that's only a friendly though, lads, because it's coming home. It's already home, lads. It's only a friendly.
Come on, David. Come on.
I'm not quite too sure how any match between Scotland and England is friendly at all, but
no, it is. It's only a friendly. England have won it, lad. They've already got the engravers engraving the trophy, lad. England Euro 2020 winners. They bet Croatia 1-0 and they won it already.
He's just winding up Brian Daigle anyway.
Yeah, and all the other English fans out
there. If I was waiting for 55 years for something to come home, I just assumed that it got hit by a car and forget about it. So I don't know what the fuck is supposed to be coming home for England.
No, you've got to give me credit though, lads. In fairness, for one guy, I'm really giving them a lot of stick. I'm not letting them rest. It's brilliant. It's great fun.
Yeah.
But look, if they do it to themselves, it's coming home every year. But in fairness, I want to give it to them. Did they keep a lid on it this season or this tournament? Usually, it's like 3 weeks beforehand. Or every reason why they're going to win it. It started creeping out when they were like, oh well, if we finish second, we can go further. Started creeping out. Then they put a lid back on it, and then they beat Croatia 1-0, and all of a sudden, put anybody in front of us, we will demolish them. It's every year. Honestly, it's not a tournament. Honestly, I was disappointed this year because usually, one thing you can guarantee every international tournament that you'll see live scenes of local cafes being ripped up and chairs and tables flying across at rival fans. It's been disappointing that we haven't seen that this year. And another thing is they're the only nation that release a song every competition. The only nation. You have Vindaloo. It's coming home. They released Vindaloo 2 this year actually before this tournament. Vindaloo 2. Imagine that. The only nation that ever does it. I can't wait for them to get knocked out.
And wouldn't it be funny if it was Scotland who ended up knocking them out of the group? That would be amazing.
No.
But as Cody knows, I would be jacking off to that.
That would be great. So apparently, that's anything you like.
I want you to do a breaking news live stream, and I will come on there.
Oh yeah, no. As soon as they get knocked out, I'll do a breaking news live stream. It's coming home, and I'll get everybody on.
That'll work. I'll be there too. I'll be there too.
We'll
not
be there,
that I
we'll
want
be
to.
there.
Yeah, look. Not that I necessarily want to see England lose, but just because I'm sure it'll be a fun show to be on.
No, come on, Will. Be honest. Be honest. You do.
Well, I'm not pro or anti-England. I'm really kind of agnostic. Less pro-England now that Harry is the only player we have that's good enough to make the international squad. But
no. Let me be clear. I'm not anti-English. It's just look. It's like they're rivals. It's the same way I treat Arsenal. So.
Yeah.
Yes. We understand.
But I'm anti-Arsenal. So.
Okay. So am I.
Yeah. I would love it that if they got relegated and we never had to play them again, home or away. But anyway, guys, thanks for coming on the show. It's been great.
Thanks, Will.
We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the morning THFC with Cody Mack, and Thursday for the Q&A show, and then Friday again for the watch along. And awesome, I'm gonna bring you in, but we're ending the show, man. Just say hello to everybody, and then we'll be done.
Sorry,
awesome.
guys. Hi, how are you?
Big old Boston. It's coming home, lad. It's coming home.
Yeah, I know.
He just got home.
All right, just got home. Looks like he's getting home. Just got off work. But anyway, awesome. I'm headed out, man. We're going to end this stream in the next 30 seconds.
Before we go.
Yeah.
Will, before we go. Southgate, you're the one. It's coming home.
Southgate, you're the one. It's coming home. All right, fellas.
Okay.
Stay strong. Stay Spurs. This
Come
is
on, you
the
Spurs.
Three Wise Men show. And we'll see you guys next time.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go now.
I'm telling you, bros.